Chapter 1133. Regardless of whether it was the cultivators from the vast sun-sacred ground, the Supreme Mystery Sect, or Qingxia Grotto Heaven, they were all from the sacred Spirit Island. All of them were in a state of shock. A lesser heavenly venerable was defeated with a single palm strike. What was even more shocking was the voice that came from there. It asked if the sacred Spirit Island wanted to be exterminated. This was simply shocking and unbelievable. The sacred Spirit Island was a top immortal force. Even ordinary clan of the ancients, supreme clans, and immortal dynasties did not dare to provoke the sacred Spirit Island. This was no longer domineering. It was simply insufferably arrogant and did not take the sacred Spirit Island, a top force, seriously at all. The purple-gold sacred Qilin's eyes were cold as it looked into the distance. Which senior dares to speak so arrogantly? The Bone Lady also spoke with a frown. In her opinion, to be able to suppress a lesser heavenly venerable with a single palm strike, it should be at least a mystique venerable. Suddenly, a huge shadow was cast down from the sky. It was like a supreme giant hand blocking out the light of the sky. Everyone looked over in shock. They suddenly realized that it was just a pair of wings. Its wings were like clouds that covered the sky, covering the light. Is that a great rock? Many people were surprised and doubtful. No, there's someone standing on it. The sect master of the Supreme Mystery Sect said. A man and a woman stood on the head of the great rock like a pair of immortals. Radiance surged and chaotic mist filled the air. That person is, at this moment, everyone's eyes widened. The Jade Lake Sacred Grounds Grand Elder, Yu Qingning, and the others were even more shocked. Am I seeing things? Is that Jun Xiaoyao? The Jade Lake Grand Elder was shocked. When she received Jiang Shengyi on the buried Emperor Star, she had seen Jun Xiaoyao. At that moment, the figure standing on the head of the Azure Sky Rock, looking like a deity in white robes, was none other than Jun Xiaoyao. What? It's the son of God of the Jun family. How is this possible? Didn't the son of God of the Jun family die in the world of divine ruins? He's still alive? Countless voices rang out. They were filled with shock and shock. They simply couldn't believe it. Jun Xiaoyao? How is this possible? The Bone Lady froze on the spot as if she had been struck by lightning. She had even said that Jun Xiaoyao had fallen and that his glory days were long gone. But now Jun Xiaoyao had appeared in front of them alive and well. If not for the fact that everyone saw it, Bone Lady would have thought that she was hallucinating. But more importantly, it was a different story. What was Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation level now? He was actually able to knock down a junior Empyrean powerhouse with a single palm? The Bone Lady girl's mind Jun Xiaoyao completely ignored the countless shocked and astonished gazes. At this moment, there was only one heavens. Xiaoyao Jiang Shengyi's eyes were moist. She, who was usually cold in front of others, had tears in her eyes at this moment. She lady she sect she her heart she how could she Jun's? Not to mention that the long separation and longing caused Jiang Sheng's clothes to gradually become loose, and he became haggard. I miss you when you look at each other, and I miss you when you look at each other. But now, the moment she saw Jun Xiaoyao, all of the suffering, all of the loneliness, was gone. Everything was worth it. However, now was clearly not the time to reminisce. Jun Xiaoyao turned to look at the group of living beings from the Holy Spirit Island, his eyes filled with unprecedented coldness. Holy Spirit Island, are you tired of living? Jun Xiaoyao didn't have many reverse scales, and Jiang Shengyi happened to be one of them. These creatures wanted to force Jiang Shengyi to hand over the 9 apertures Saint Spirit Embryo Stone. This would obviously have a great impact on her path of cultivation. If Jun Xiaoyao hadn't come, Jiang Shengyi would have been in a lot of trouble today. Jun Xiaoyao, how is this possible? Haven't you already fallen? The Bone Lady shrieked in disbelief. In her eyes, Little Stone Emperor was the top prodigy of this era. But now, seeing the powerful Jun Xiaoyao, her faith was shaken. Jun Xiaoyao, even you don't have the right to stop the Holy Spirit Island. The mystique, venerable rank creature shouted coldly. Jun Xiaoyao's arrogant and domineering tone made him very unhappy. He didn't know that the Holy Spirit Island had treated the Jade Lake sacred ground with the same attitude just now. Boom! The mystique, venerable rank creature casually threw a palm at Jun Xiaoyao. He didn't know how Jun Xiaoyao had survived and appeared here. But Jun Xiaoyao couldn't stop them from obtaining the 9 apertures Saint Spirit Embryo Stone. Of course, he didn't want to kill Jun Xiaoyao. He just wanted to force him to retreat. Unexpectedly, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were cold as he also threw a palm at him. It didn't just contain chaotic energy. Inside, there was also the power of the quasi-connate sacred being's embryo. Jun Xiaoyao had both the chaotic physique and the quasi-connate sacred being's embryo. Even a supreme mystique, venerable rank would not be able to easily suppress him. Boom! Accompanied by an earth-shattering explosion, Jun Xiaoyao stood where he was, unmoving. The mystique, venerable rank creature was stunned. He was a mystique, venerable rank creature. No matter how strong Jun Xiaoyao was, he should only be able to dominate the younger generation. Moreover, he could sense that Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation aura was only at the honorable rank. He wasn't the only one. Everyone present was stunned. What's the cultivation level of the Jun family's Son of God? How could he block a mystique, venerable rank attack so effortlessly? How old is he? How can he fight a mystique, venerable rank? The cultivators from the vast Sun's sacred ground, Supreme Mystery Sect, Qingxia Grotto, and the other all-heaven immortal domains all gasped. Jun Xiaoyao's performance was unbelievable. Xiaoyao's aura, Jiang Shengyi had an innate Taoist embryo. She keenly sensed that Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have a power that she was familiar with. It wasn't the sacred body of the ancients. It was the innate saint body of the innate Taoist embryo. How is this possible? Bone Lady felt as if she was struck by lightning when she saw this. Even her master, the Little Stone Emperor, might not be able to do this. She recalled how she had slandered Jun Xiaoyao before. Now, Bone Lady's face had been slapped hard. No, she had already been slapped in the face. At this moment, the purple-gold sacred Qilin stepped out and said indifferently, "Jun Xiaoyao, don't try to be mysterious. Although the Jun family is strong, the Sacred Spirit Island is no pushover. Today, I must get the 9-hold Sacred Spirit Embryo Stone." A sacred spirit close to the level of a boundary emperor spoke. There was no doubt that it was intimidating. On the Jade Lake side, the Jade Lake sacred leader, Yu Qingning, and the Great Elder all looked worried. Although Jun Xiaoyao's appearance was surprising. Now, there was a sacred spirit close to the level of a boundary emperor. If he forcefully took the 9-hold sacred spirit embryo stone, no one present could stop him. However, before Jun Xiaoyao could say anything, the Azure Sky Rock spoke in human language. "Who do you think you are? How dare you talk nonsense in front of my master?" With a cold shout, the Azure Sky Rock spread its wings and unleashed its aura. Between heaven and earth, wild winds swept across and wreaked havoc in the sky. Even the void was torn apart. An incomparably violent boundary emperor aura surged out and shook the heavens and earth. Fufeng of Gojoseon's aura erupted and his boundary emperor cultivation suppressed everyone present. Chapter 1134. This aura. Why do I feel that it's even more powerful than the purple gold Qilin? A boundary emperor. It's a boundary emperor. The sect master of the Supreme Mystery Sect exclaimed in shock. The Azure Sky Rock under Jun Xiaoyao's feet was actually a boundary emperor. The cultivators and factions of the Daluotian celestial realm were so shocked that their scalps went numb. A boundary emperor as a mount. This was simply unimaginable. Even the Jun family couldn't afford to be so extravagant. It should be known that quasi-emperors were the absolute pillars of an immortal force and could be said to be in existence with a deep foundation. No boundary emperor would lower their status like this. As if sensing everyone's shocked gazes, the Fuji emperor said, in order to save some face, Fufeng King explained coldly, what is this? My master even killed the ultimate disaster of the foreign realm. That is an existence much more powerful than the great emperors. As long as my master is strong enough, I won't lose face as a mount. This was the logic of the Fufeng of Gojoseon. There was nothing wrong with it. What? The ultimate calamity of the foreign realm. Even though most of the cultivators were confused, Qin Nan still had a blank expression on his face. However, they at least heard that it was an existence that was far more powerful than a great emperor. How could Jun Xiaoyao kill an existence that was more powerful than a great emperor? As for the cultivators of the vast sun sacred ground, supreme mystery sect, and Qingxia grotto heaven, their expressions changed drastically. As higher-ups, they knew a little about the details. What's going on? The son of God of the Jun family killed the ultimate calamity? The minds of the cultivators of the major factions were blank. They couldn't wrap their heads around it. They didn't think that a boundary emperor would lie. On the Jade Lake side, the Jade Lake sacred leader opened her mouth but didn't know what to say. The Jade Lake's foundation was only that of a boundary emperor. As it turned out, Jun Xiaoyao's mount was a quasi-emperor. This disparity left one speechless. A sacred ground couldn't compare to Jun Xiaoyao alone. On the sacred spirit island side, the Bone Lady was already numb from shock. Let's not talk about the ultimate calamity. With a boundary emperor as his mount, he could even block a mystique venerable one's attack. After seeing it for herself, she finally understood how foolish and laughable her previous thoughts were. As for the purple-gold sacred Qilin, it was no longer as arrogant and haughty as before. Its eyes were filled with bewilderment, and it spoke with a fierce expression, "You shouldn't be a member of the Jun family. As a quasi-emperor, why would you lower yourself?" Although the purple-gold sacred Qilin was at the peak of the Chaos Dao Master realm, it was only one step away from the quasi-emperor realm. However, even if it was just a single step, it was still the difference between heaven and earth. Even though it had the body of a divine spirit, it could barely fight against a quasi-emperor. However, he could only be suppressed throughout the entire process. Cut the crap and offend my master. You have no way out. Fufeng of Gojoseon was very decisive. He immediately made his move. His life was now at the mercy of Jun Xiaoyao's whims. Therefore, when it was time to perform, it was natural to perform well and express one's loyalty. Fufeng of Gojoseon finally understood. Since he could not resist, he might as well enjoy it. Moreover, after Jun Xiaoyao killed the ultimate calamity, Fufeng of Gojoseon actually felt that it would not be too embarrassing to be Jun Xiaoyao's mount in the future. There was even a possibility that he could ascend to heaven. Fufeng of Gojoseon made his move. He directly pulled the purple-gold sacred Qilin and soared into the sky to fight. This was because if they fought on the ground, the entire Jade Lake sacred ground would probably be destroyed. After all, this was a battle between quasi-emperors. Rumble! A great battle broke out in the starry sky. The rumbling sound was like the wrath of the heavens. Many large stars were shaken and were shaken down. Fufeng of Gojoseon had been acting very cowardly all this time. However, that was because he was facing Jun Xiaoyao and Jun Wuhui. How could he not be cowardly? Now that there was finally a soft persimmon to bully, the Fufeng of Gojoseon naturally wanted to vent his anger. On the other side, Jun Xiaoyao indifferently glanced at the people of the sacred spirit island. The Bone Lady, who had been stubborn and sharp-tongued before, was now pale. Her originally pale face was without a trace of blood. She actually felt that even if the little stone emperor was present, he would not be able to protect them. The little stone emperor was already domineering enough. In order to get what he wanted, he was willing to send people to force a sacred ground into a dead end. However, Jun Xiaoyao was even more domineering than the little stone emperor. Everyone from the Jade Lake sacred ground, are you still not going to make a move? Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. But the Jade Lake Great Elder and the others were still hesitating. After all, the Sacred Spirit Island was too powerful for the Jade Lake sacred ground to provoke. It doesn't matter. I will bear any trouble alone. I would like to see if the Sacred Spirit Island has the guts to settle the score with me. Jun Xiaoyao waved his big sleeve in a domineering manner. This scene caused many people to click their tongues and sigh. This domineering manner had an underlying meaning. He was indeed the Son of God of the Jun family. Since the Son of God has spoken, why should we continue to endure? The Jade Lake sacred leader said. She was the first to make a move. The Jade Lake sacred ground had been angered by the Sacred Spirit Island for a long time. Now that Jun Xiaoyao had spoken and had his support, the Jade Lake sacred ground did not have to worry about anything. With Jiang Xingyi's relationship, Jun Xiaoyao would not let anything happen to the Jade Lake sacred ground. As the Jade Lake sacred leader, Yu Qingning, and the others made a move, the situation became one-sided. Without the purple gold sacred Qilin, the Jade Lake sacred leader alone could deal with the powerful cultivators from the Sacred Spirit Island. I didn't expect that not only did he not die, but he also appeared in front of everyone in an even more glorious and shocking manner. A beautiful and slender woman stood beside Jiang Xingyi. The 9 divine halos behind her shone brightly, faintly discernible. She was the Princess Divine Silkworm of the Divine Silkworm Valley. Back on the ancient final path, Princess Divine Silkworm was also a famous 9 transformations celestial silkworm. However, after being tortured by Jun Xiaoyao on the buried Emperor Star, she had been thrown to Jiang Xingyi as a maid. Now that she saw Jun Xiaoyao again, Princess Divine Silkworm was undoubtedly reminded of her nightmare. I always knew that Xiaoyao would never disappoint. Jiang Xingyi's red lips curled up into a smile. Princess Divine Silkworm's eyes flashed when she saw this. She was a little surprised. Although Jiang Xingyi was not usually as cold as an iceberg, she was still aloof and rarely smiled. She only focused on cultivating. Only when she mentioned Jun Xiaoyao would Jiang Xingyi's lips curl into a knowing smile. It was as if she had turned into a woman in love. However, when she saw the peerlessly handsome man standing in the sky with his white robes fluttering in the wind, Princess Divine Silkworm actually felt a little envious of Jiang Xingyi. Jiang Xingyi was peerless and 1 in 10,000. However, Jun Xiaoyao was even more unparalleled. It was difficult for anyone to stand shoulder to shoulder with him. The two of them were indeed a perfect match. Boom! At this moment, there seemed to be a sudden clap of thunder in the sky. The purple gold sacred Qilin fell from the sky and was severely injured. Obviously, it was still a little lacking when compared to a boundary emperor. My lord! Bone Lady felt a chill all over her body and her eyes were filled with fear. Even the purple gold sacred Qilin had been defeated. They were probably in danger this time. Seeing this, Jun Xiaoyao directly raised his hand and took out the myriad qi cauldron. It had 3 legs and 2 handles and was incomparably heavy. The Xian Wang Mother Qi floated up and down. Such a good material can't be wasted. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. In his eyes, the living beings on the Sacred Spirit Island had always been materials. Where could he find such a large piece of divine mark purple gold? Only the bodies of these sacred spirits could reach such a level. Therefore, in ancient times, there were also some great emperors who liked to suppress the troublemaking sacred spirits in order to obtain their bodies and refine them into emperor weapons. Of course, the sacred spirits were not to be trifled with. If they were not confident, many of them would have died. Chapter 1135. The purple gold sacred Qilin was covered in cracks, and all sorts of great Tao laws were collapsing. Although it was a complete chaos Tao Lord, it was still not strong enough to face a true quasi-emperor. As long as it was close to the word emperor, even if it was just a quasi-emperor, its strength was far beyond that of a 7th stage supreme. Fufeng of Gojoseon was also very considerate. He only severely injured the purple-gold sacred Qilin but did not kill it. This was because he knew that Jun Xiaoyao would definitely want to deal with the purple-gold sacred Qilin personally. At this moment, the purple-gold sacred Qilin was severely injured by Fufeng of Gojoseon and naturally had no power to resist. Jun Xiaoyao took out the universal Qi cauldron, and a fierce suction force erupted, trying to pull the purple-gold sacred Qilin into it to suppress and refine it. Impossible! I am the sacred spirit beast of Lord Stone Emperor. Who dares to kill me? Who dares to destroy me? The purple-gold sacred Qilin roared. Its master was the Stone Emperor, a great success sacred spirit of the Sacred Spirit Island. A long time ago, it had followed the Stone Emperor and witnessed how the Stone Emperor was invincible in the universe. Even the great Emperor of the human race had been torn apart by the Stone Emperor. But now, it was about to be suppressed by a junior of the human race. This was a humiliation that the purple-gold sacred Qilin could not accept. But now, the Stone Emperor was still in a deep sleep. It was only because of the birth of the little Stone Emperor that the purple-gold sacred Qilin woke up in advance to protect its young master. But who would have thought that something like this would happen? The purple-gold sacred Qilin struggled with all its might, trying to escape. But in the end, many green sword feathers came down from the sky and pierced the purple-gold sacred Qilin's body. It's your fortune to be refined by my master, Fufeng of Gojoseon said coldly as he stood in the sky. Splat! The great Tao laws in the purple-gold sacred Qilin's body collapsed again and was finally suppressed into the universal Qi cauldron. Suddenly, the universal Qi cauldron flashed with brilliance. The mountains, rivers, seas, plants, insects, and fish carved on the cauldron seemed to light up. The purple-gold sacred Qilin itself was a large piece of rare divine mark purple gold. In addition, it had transformed into a sacred spirit and had integrated many great Tao laws into its body. Therefore, to the myriad Qi cauldron, it was a great supplement, a big mouthful of delicious meat. It's not far from transforming into an actual imperial armament. Jun Xiaoyao sensed the changes in the myriad Qi cauldron. The cauldron had become even heavier. With one cauldron, it could simply crush mountains and rivers. If I were to refine the Stone Emperor too, Jun Xiaoyao inexplicably had this thought in his mind. If outsiders knew about this, they would definitely be dumbfounded. Who was the Stone Emperor? He was an invincible holy spirit of his generation, and he was one of the most powerful beings on the Holy Spirit Island. Even the great emperor of the human race had been slain by the Stone Emperor. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao actually wanted to refine the Stone Emperor. However, he believed that if he could really refine the Stone Emperor, his two weapons, the myriad Qi cauldron and the Daluo sword embryo, should be able to become true monarch weapons. It's really been refined. That's the holy spirit beast of the Stone Emperor, yet it was suppressed and refined just like that? Everyone who saw this scene was dumbstruck. Then, the crowd completely exploded. Jun Xiaoyao really had no scruples. He had directly refined the Stone Emperor's holy spirit beast. As the saying went, even if you don't look at the monk, you have to look at the Buddha's face. Jun Xiaoyao's move was practically equivalent to slapping the Stone Emperor's face. Bone Lady was even more stunned. Her eyes widened and she was incomparably terrified. She actually felt that this peerless white-robed man in front of her was actually even more domineering and insufferably arrogant than her master. Next, Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand and brought out the Daluo sword embryo. He fed the myriad Qi cauldron once. Naturally, he also had to feed the Daluo sword embryo. The remaining beings on the Holy Spirit Island were also all kinds of immortal materials and divine metals. Although they were not as nourishing as the purple-gold sacred Qilin, they could not be wasted. In Jun Xiaoyao's eyes, these were all fat leeks that could be harvested. In Jun Xiaoyao's hand, the Daluo sword embryo slashed horizontally. Almost no one below the heavenly venerable level could block Jun Xiaoyao's sword. Even a lesser heavenly venerable could not block a few moves from Jun Xiaoyao. This was the power that Jun Xiaoyao had not activated his quasi-innate sage physique Dao embryo. He had only relied on his chaotic physique. How is this possible? How can there be someone stronger than my master? Bone Lady stared blankly at the scene before her. Her heart was cold to the bones. The battle prowess that Jun Xiaoyao displayed could no longer be described as stunning. It was almost beyond the age limit. Then, Bone Lady suddenly shuddered, because Jun Xiaoyao's gaze landed on her. Bone Lady was just about to say something when Jun Xiaoyao casually swept his sword across. Don't worry, you will be able to see your master soon. After that sword strike, Bone Lady lost all consciousness. Her body and soul were destroyed, and her soul returned to the outside world. Jiang Xingyi did not kill Bone Lady because he wanted her to witness the Little Stone Emperor's defeat. However, Jun Xiaoyao did not care at all. Why should he care about the opinion of an ant? Moreover, to him, anyone who dared to provoke Jiang Xingyi would be disadvantageous to her. There was only one way out, and there was no other way. Soon, the battle was over. All the living beings from the Holy Spirit Island who came to the Jade Lake sacred ground to force Jun Xiaoyao to abdicate were killed. Moreover, not only were they killed, but they were also used by Jun Xiaoyao to refine the Myriad Qi Cauldron and the Daluo Sword embryo. It could be said that even if they were dead, they would still be used. There was no waste. Jun Xiaoyao's two weapons had also taken a big step forward and were not far from being real emperor weapons. Today, I have witnessed the name of the Jun family's Son of God with my own eyes. The surrounding cultivators of the All-Heaven Celestial Domain were extremely emotional. Previously, they had only heard of Jun Xiaoyao's various deeds, but seeing it with their own eyes was still a different feeling. Jun Xiaoyao looked around. He suddenly looked at the vast sun sacred ground, supreme mystery sect, Qingxia Grotto Heaven, and other major forces of the All-Heaven Celestial Domain. The powerhouses of the three major forces were all shocked, and then they all cupped their hands at Jun Xiaoyao. Greetings, Son of God. Jun Xiaoyao looked at them playfully and said, Are you just here to watch the show? The powerhouses of the three major forces felt their hearts skip a beat, and they all smiled apologetically. Of course. Although we want to help, the Sacred Spirit Island is too powerful. We don't dare to. Is that so? I thought you were waiting for the Sacred Spirit Island to break through the Jade Lake sacred ground so you could take a share of the loot. As soon as these words came out, the powerhouses of the three major forces were so scared that their legs almost gave out and they collapsed to the ground. The sect master of the Supreme Mystery sect hurriedly cupped his hands and said, Son of God, you misunderstand. How would we dare to have such thoughts? That's right, that's right. The Jade Lake sacred ground is also a major force of the All-Heaven Celestial Domain. We have always lived in harmony and did not interfere with each other's business. The elder of the vast sun sacred ground broke out in cold sweat. In the beginning, they might have had such thoughts. However, with the arrival of Jun Xiaoyao, their thoughts had completely disappeared. What a joke! One word from Jun Xiaoyao aside, and the Jun family could easily wipe out the three forces. Even if it was just the Boundary Emperor by Jun Xiaoyao's side, it would be enough to make the three major forces suffer. That's good. I hope that the Jade Lake sacred ground can stand tall in the All-Heaven Celestial Domain forever. Anyone who dares to offend us will be killed without mercy. Jun Xiaoyao's words were like the judgment of a god. All the cultivators of the All-Heaven Celestial Domain were shocked. They knew that the Jade Lake sacred ground would not be in any danger now. Jun Xiaoyao's words were the golden rule. Unless Jun Xiaoyao died and the Jun family was destroyed. However, was that possible? Not to mention that the news of the desolate border had not reached them yet. If they knew about it, they would definitely be scared out of their wit. The Jade Lake sacred leader, the great elder, and the others were overjoyed. Wasn't this exactly what they wanted? Jiang Xingyi was the Jade Lake Sacred Ground's lucky star. He could help the Jade Lake Sacred Ground rise again. Jiang Xingyi also had a sweet smile on his face. The feeling of being protected by the person he loved was really good. End of chapter. Chapter 1136. The Jade Lake Sacred Ground regained its peace. Who would have thought that the Holy Spirit Island, which came with great momentum, would end up in such a tragedy? Not only did they die, but they were also used as materials to be refined. For the Holy Spirit Island, this was the most aggrieved way to die. And Jun Xiaoyao didn't care at all. At this moment, in his eyes, there was only that peerless beauty in snow-white robes who was incomparably beautiful. Xiaoyao, a smile appeared on Jiang Xingyi's smooth and pretty face. A smile blossomed. It was the sweetness brewed from a long time of longing. That was because she had always believed that Jun Xiaoyao would never leave without saying a word. Bai Shui stood on one side. She was not like Jiang Luoli, who rushed to hug Jun Xiaoyao as soon as she saw him, because compared to Jiang Luoli, her love was restrained and dedicated. As long as Jun Xiaoyao could come back, she was already very happy. However, what was completely out of Jiang Xingyi's expectations? In the next moment, Jun Xiaoyao landed in front of her and took her delicate body into his arms. Jiang Xingyi was completely stunned, and her mind went blank. She knew very well that Jun Xiaoyao had always been the cold and aloof type. Even if he had feelings in his heart, he rarely showed them, let alone take the initiative. The previous hugs and kisses were almost all initiated by Jiang Xingyi. She didn't know. What did Jun Xiaoyao see in that fragment of the future? Xiaoyao, Jiang Xingyi's face was crimson red, and her delicate body was numb as she softened in Jun Xiaoyao's arms. Jun Xiaoyao was silent. He just buried his head in Jiang Xingyi's jade neck and smelled the fragrance of the beauty's hair. Xiaoyao, you must have experienced a lot. Although being hugged in front of everyone, Jiang Xingyi was a little shy. However, she could sense that Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have something on his mind. She stretched out her jade-like hands and hugged Jun Xiaoyao as well. There was a trace of tenderness between her brows. At this moment, she was no longer shy or apprehensive. Jun Xiaoyao was her sweetheart. He was the person who would accompany her for the rest of her life. That was enough. Upon seeing this, Yu Qingning, the Jade Lake Sacred Master, and the others all smiled in relief. Even Jiang Luoli had a smile on her face at this moment. After experiencing so much, she also felt relieved. There was no need to care about all these disturbances. Jun Xiaoyao was the person she loved the most. Jiang Xingyi was also the person closest to her. She wanted them to be happy, and that was enough. Princess Divine Silkworm sighed with emotion when she saw this scene. Jiang Xingyi could give up everything for Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao could also stand by Jiang Xingyi when she needed him the most. What kind of love was this? Princess Divine Silkworm was very envious. Ahem, son of God, why don't you come to the Jade Lake? Although the Jade Lake Sacred Master couldn't bear to ruin this beautiful scene, she still coughed dryly. Jiang Xingyi's face was as red as fire, and she was as tender as a peach blossom. Her delicate appearance was as alluring as water. Okay. Jun Xiaoyao nodded slightly. Compared to Jiang Xingyi, he was more casual and didn't feel embarrassed at all. The Jade Lake Sacred Master looked around and said, "Everyone, the show is over. Please go back." The powerhouses of the vast Sun Sacred Ground, Supreme Mystery Sect, and Qingxia Grotto Heaven cupped their fists and left. They knew that the Jade Lake was in the bag. As long as Jun Xiaoyao didn't fall, the Jade Lake wouldn't fall. Son of God, please. The Jade Lake Sacred Master smiled. Although she was a Dao sovereign, she was very humble in front of Jun Xiaoyao and didn't put on any airs. This, Senior, please. The Jade Lake Sacred Master also said to Fufeng of Gojoseon. Fufeng of Gojoseon nodded slightly and regained some of his dignity and confidence as a boundary emperor. The group entered the Jade Lake. Many female disciples of the Jade Lake appeared and looked at Jun Xiaoyao with sparkling eyes. Is that the son of God of the June family? I heard that he had fallen. I didn't expect to see him again. He's so handsome. No wonder the saint is so infatuated with him. Shallow. Lord Divine Child has more than just a face, Yifutian said. The female disciples of the Jade Lake chattered with each other. They were a bunch of fangirls. It's all thanks to the Son of God's help this time. The Jade Lake will be hosting a banquet soon. I hope the Son of God will kindly accept it, the Jade Lake Sacred Master said. You're too kind. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. The banquet was naturally followed by a round of toast. Jun Xiaoyao only drank 2 cups casually. The Jade Lake Sacred Master and the others knew that Jun Xiaoyao had an ulterior motive. He was here to find Jiang Xingyi. All right, let them gather, the Jade Lake Sacred Master said with a smile. After the banquet, Jiang Xingyi brought Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Luoli to the place where she was cultivating in seclusion. It was a blessed land shrouded in mystical mist. A brilliant light surged, and the shards of laws flickered as a pool appeared before Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. This was the Jade Lake Sacred Ground's most precious Jade Lake. The Jade Lake Sacred Ground had recruited Jiang Xingyi as their saintess because they wanted to take advantage of her. But to be honest, the Jade Lake Sacred Ground had done their duty to Jiang Xingyi. The best treasured place and the best resources had been given to Jiang Xingyi. This was also why Jun Xiaoyao was willing to protect the Jade Lake. Big Sister Xingyi. There were no outsiders here. Jiang Luoli threw herself into Jiang Xingyi's arms. Like Jun Xiaoyao, she had only seen Jiang Xingyi again after a few years. Luoli has become a great beauty. Jiang Xingyi patted Jiang Luoli's head. Her eyes were filled with love. She treated Jiang Luoli like her own sister. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly as he watched the scene unfold. By the way, Big Sister Xingyi, let me tell you how powerful Big Brother Xiaoyao is. In the desolate border, then, Jiang Luoli talked endlessly about Jun Xiaoyao's experiences in the desolate border. Jiang Luoli completely let go of herself in front of the 2 people she liked the most. The slight gap between her and Jiang Xingyi because of Jun Xiaoyao had completely disappeared. Hearing Jiang Luoli's words, Jiang Xingyi's beautiful eyes were filled with surprise. War of emperors, immortal kings, and the ultimate disaster. This was not something that ordinary people could come into contact with or face. However, Jun Xiaoyao faced it alone and succeeded in the end. Jiang Xingyi was proud. Which woman didn't want her lover to be a peerless hero? But at the same time, she also felt a trace of heartache. She had let this man face everything alone again. After chatting for a while, Jiang Luoli glanced at Jiang Xingyi and then at Jun Xiaoyao. Big Sister Xingyi, you and Big Brother Xiaoyao have a lot to talk about, right? You two go ahead. Jiang Luoli smiled and turned to leave. Luoli, you. Jiang Xingyi wanted to say something but stopped. It's okay. Jiang Luoli looked back and gave a big smile. She was so sensible that it made one's heart ache. Let her go. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. This girl, I haven't seen her for a few years, but she has changed so much. She is more mature and makes people feel sorry for her. Jiang Xingyi sighed slightly. Jun Xiaoyao smiled and said, Big Sister Xingyi, you have always been thinking for me and Luoli. When have you ever thought for yourself? When Jiang Xingyi heard this, she shook her head slightly. I'm not important. I'm happy as long as I can help you. Unfortunately, I thought I was qualified to stand by your side and help you now. But you are far ahead of me, and you are even facing the ultimate disaster alone. Jiang Xingyi's heart ached and she was still scared. She had been working so hard, training day and night, just so that she could stand by Jun Xiaoyao's side and share his burdens. She didn't want to see only Jun Xiaoyao's back in the future. Even if it really came to that, she was willing to face the endless darkness and loneliness with Jun Xiaoyao. Because real love was not just about enjoying sweet happiness together. It was also about bearing the fate of wandering around together. End of chapter. Chapter 1137. No, Sister Xingyi, you're very important. You're the only one who'll return, Jun Xiaoyao said in a serious tone. He reached out and gently brushed the white hair on Jiang Xingyi's forehead. Jiang Xingyi's hair was originally as black as ink. When Jun Xiaoyao entered the Bronze Immortal Palace in the immortal ancient world, his life tablet was even shattered. Jiang Xingyi's black hair turned white overnight. Black hair in the morning and snow in the evening. What kind of deep feeling was that? Even now, Jiang Xingyi's hair was still as white as snow. Because it was a scar left behind by a heartache, no matter how high one's cultivation was, it was difficult to recover. Looking at Jiang Xingyi's hair as white as snow, Jun Xiaoyao felt that he should make a promise to her. Otherwise, he would be too ashamed to face the woman in front of him. Under Jun Xiaoyao's gentle gaze, Jiang Xingyi's long eyelashes drooped slightly. Her face was as red as the morning sun reflecting the snow, and there was a little bit of joy in her shyness. However, she was also a woman with a pure heart. She noticed that Jun Xiaoyao was not quite the same as usual. Xiaoyao, what's wrong? You don't seem like your usual self. Jun Xiaoyao was introverted and calm. Even when it came to relationships, he was very rational and even gave people a feeling that he was emotionless. But now, Jun Xiaoyao's behavior was somewhat out of character. Jiang Xingyi naturally did not know that Jun Xiaoyao had seen a fragment of the future. Although it was not necessarily true, it was like a shadow shrouding Jun Xiaoyao. Sister Xingyi, should I make a promise to you? Jun Xiaoyao gently put his arm around Jiang Xingyi's slender waist and said in her ear. What? Jiang Xingyi's mind went blank as if she had lost her mind. Then, unknowingly, sparkling and translucent tears rolled down Ningxi's cheek. Sister Xingyi, Jun Xiaoyao didn't expect Jiang Xingyi to have such a reaction. He raised his hand and wiped away the tears on Jiang Xingyi's face. No, it's just too sudden. Jiang Xingyi was wiping his tears, not knowing what to do. It was hard to imagine that in the eyes of outsiders, this woman was as cold as a fairy from the Moon Palace, a celestial being from the heavens. Why would he show such a helpless expression? However, this appearance also had the cuteness of a little girl. Sister Xingyi, for the sake of my own cultivation, I haven't given you a promise. Now I know that this is actually a kind of selfishness. Jun Xiaoyao finally understood. He wanted to continue on the path of cultivation, but he couldn't let her down either. Xiaoyao, what's on your mind? Jiang Xingyi was too smart. He sensed that Jun Xiaoyao seemed to be hiding something. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. Naturally, he couldn't reveal that corner of the future. To him, he wouldn't allow that kind of thing to happen. Sister Xingyi, promise me that you won't do anything stupid for me in the future, Jun Xiaoyao said. Jiang Xingyi smiled slightly and didn't say anything. She remembered the last test of the Queen Mother of the West when she received her inheritance. In order to save her lover, the Emperor of the Void, the Queen Mother of the West personally dug out her own 12 apertures. She asked Jiang Xingyi if he was willing to sacrifice himself for the person he loved the most. Jiang Xingyi's answer was that he was willing. It was still the same now. Looking at the silent Jiang Xingyi, Jun Xiaoyao was also helpless. He knew that this woman also had her own stubbornness and persistence. The only thing he could do was to prevent that from happening. Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi, these two people, each hid a secret in their hearts that they couldn't let the other know. But they were the ones who were most willing to think for each other. Sister Xingyi, I owe you a grand wedding, Jun Xiaoyao said sincerely. Jiang Xingyi's eyes were moist, and her curled eyelashes were also glistening with tears. She was overjoyed. She had been waiting for this day for a long time. But she endured the tearing pain in her heart and said, Xiaoyao, I know that you want to give me a promise, but you still have a long way to go. If you have worries in your heart, how can you embark on that supreme path? For you, I'm willing to wait. For a woman, the most affectionate confession was that she was willing to wait for him. Jiang Xingyi knew that Jun Xiaoyao had monstrous talent that surpassed all heroes of the past and present. He still had a long way to go. Marriage at an early age was just a fetter. As long as Jun Xiaoyao had this kind of heart, she was content. Looking at the incomparably gentle and considerate Jiang Xingyi, Jun Xiaoyao really didn't know what to say. He was indifferent. He had seen countless goddesses and concubines, but very few women could truly hold his heart. But Jiang Xingyi did. "Why don't we take a step back and find a time to get engaged in the future?" Jun Xiaoyao said. No matter what, he had to make a promise. Jiang Xingyi's beautiful eyes were hazy. Her snow-white face was like a pear blossom in the rain. Those were tears of happiness. She hugged Jun Xiaoyao and leaned her head on his chest. "By the way, Luoli," Jiang Xingyi said. "Luoli, she." Jun Xiaoyao didn't know what to say. It was impossible to say that he didn't have any feelings for Jiang Luoli, who had short legs. However, this was his promise to Jiang Xingyi. He really couldn't bring himself to say it out loud and enjoy the happiness of having two wives. "Actually, seriously speaking, I'm the latecomer. At your 10-years-old banquet, Luoli was the first to say that she wanted to be your wife. It's been so many years. You can't let that girl down." At this point, Jiang Xingyi also felt a little embarrassed. After all, she was the latecomer. She had waited for Jun Xiaoyao for so many years. Jiang Luoli had also waited for so many years. Jiang Luoli's love for Jun Xiaoyao was no less than Jiang Xingyi's. But Jun Xiaoyao wanted to say something, but stopped. "Xiaoyao, you're very outstanding. You're so outstanding that I feel a little uneasy. I wonder if I'm not good enough for you." "Sister Xingyi, you're too silly." Jun Xiaoyao hugged Jiang Xingyi tightly. There was actually such a gentle and intellectual woman in the world. It was indeed a blessing for him to have her. Besides, I treat Luoli like my own sister. I can see her infatuation and sincerity for you. If I want to have you all to myself and break Luoli's heart, I can't do it," Jiang Xingyi said. If it were another woman, Jiang Xingyi didn't know how she would react. But when it came to Jiang Luoli, she only felt guilty and distressed. "That's good." Jun Xiaoyao nodded slightly. Since Jiang Xingyi had agreed, there was no need for him to be timid. That wasn't his style. "Call Luoli in," Jiang Xingyi said. Soon, Jiang Luoli was called in. Her fair and pretty face was filled with bewilderment. "Luoli, are you willing to be with me and Xiaoyao?" Jiang Xingyi asked gently. Jun Xiaoyao also said, "After that, I want to make you a promise, an engagement promise." Hearing Jiang Xingyi and Jun Xiaoyao's words, Jiang Luoli's delicate body trembled, and she couldn't help but burst into tears. God knew how long she had been waiting for this moment. Since Jun Xiaoyao's 10-years-old banquet, she had been clamoring to be Jun Xiaoyao's wife. But now, after so many years, she had finally dreamed of it. She looked at Jiang Xingyi with teary eyes. She knew that if Jiang Xingyi didn't agree, it would be difficult to settle this matter. "Sister Xingyi, it's you, isn't it?" Jiang Luoli said with a sobbing tone. Previously, because of Jun Xiaoyao, she had developed some estrangement with Jiang Xingyi, and even a little jealousy. But Jiang Xingyi didn't care at all. Instead, she was very considerate of her little willfulness. Jiang Luoli immediately threw herself into Jiang Xingyi's arms, completely venting her emotions. "Sister Xingyi, how can you be so gentle? If I were a man, I would definitely marry you." Jiang Luoli was so happy that she cried. "Silly Jiang Luoli." Jiang Xingyi touched Jiang Luoli's little head lovingly. "Ahem, why do I feel like I'm unnecessary?" Jun Xiaoyao, who was standing at the side, coughed dryly. Brother Xiaoyao is also Luoli's most beloved person. Jiang Luoli turned and threw herself into Jun Xiaoyao's arms. Jiang Xingyi also smiled and leaned on Jun Xiaoyao's shoulder. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao's heart was full. No matter what happened in the future, even if the world was in chaos, the world was in turmoil, and the era was changing, he also wanted to protect the people he loved with his own hand. This was a man's promise. Chapter 1138. Jiang Shengyi and Jiang Luoli were both beautiful women, and they had completely different personalities and temperament. One was a peerless beauty. The other was incomparably beautiful. The other was gentle and intellectual. The other was lively and quick-witted. The other was as beautiful as a fairy banished from the moon. The other was as beautiful and innocent as a fairy. The other was as cold as the moonlight. The other was as passionate and lively as Zhu Sha-mole. It could be said that any one of these two was a fate that countless men couldn't hope to have in 3 lifetimes. But Jun Xiaoyao had it all to himself. This was indeed a kind of luck. Xiaoyao, I'm so happy that I even feel like this is just a dream. If it's true, then I hope that I'll never wake up from this dream. There were tears in Jiang Shengyi's smile. Her tear-stained appearance was even more moving and pitiful. Jun Xiaoyao didn't hesitate. He lowered his head and kissed Jiang Shengyi's soft red lip. Jiang Shengyi's lips were suddenly blocked. Joy, shyness, happiness, all kinds of emotions were brewing in her heart. After a long time, their lips parted. Xiaoyao, Luoli is still here, Jiang Shengyi pouted coquettishly, but there was also a kind of seductive charm. At this time, Jun Xiaoyao immediately noticed an extremely resentful little gaze. Jiang Luoli leaned in Jun Xiaoyao's arms. Her pair of watery bright eyes looked delicate and pitiful. Brother Xiaoyao, I want it too. Jiang Luoli took the initiative to close her eyes. Her pink and pouty lips were as tempting as peach petals. Such a childish and seductive Luoli took the initiative to ask for a kiss. There was probably no man who could resist this temptation. Jun Xiaoyao smiled and kissed Jiang Luoli. Jiang Luoli revealed a sweet and silly smile. Xiaoyao, what are your plans next? Jiang Shengyi asked softly. Although the land of warmth and tenderness was very comfortable. But Jun Xiaoyao couldn't stay here forever. I'll go to the Jiutian Immortal Academy later, but before that, I need to go back to the Jun family, Jun Xiaoyao said. He returned to the Jun family to see his relatives and make some arrangements. He also needed to investigate the Grey clan. I also want to go back to see my mother, Jiang Luoli said. Even before the engagement ceremony started, Jiang Luoli had already started calling Jiang Ronyang. Okay, I'll take you back with me. Sister Shengyi, are you coming with us? Jun Xiaoyao looked at Jiang Shengyi. Jiang Shengyi felt a little awkward. Although it was normal for a man to bring his wife home to meet his parents. But the problem was Jiang Ro was Jiang Shengyi's distant cousin. Although they weren't closely related by blood, they were still reputable. With this relationship, it would indeed be a little awkward if he really had to call her mother when they met. Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have noticed Jiang Shengyi's awkwardness and smiled. Sister Shengyi, you don't have to care about such trivial things. Although Jiang Shengyi was his aunt, it was just a title. The two of them weren't really related by blood. Besides, in this world, some families would even deliberately let cousins marry in order to maintain the purity of their bloodline. Therefore, it wasn't a big deal. At most, he would be ridiculed. An ugly daughter-in-law will have to meet her in-laws eventually, Jun Xiaoyao said with a smile. Jiang Shengyi rolled her eyes at Jun Xiaoyao charmingly. Am I ugly? It's just a joke. If Sister Shengyi is ugly, how can other women live in the world? Jun Xiaoyao was full of desire to live. A few days later, Jun Xiaoyao also left the Jade Lake Sacred Ground with Jiang Shengyi and Jiang Luoli. However, Jiang Shengyi still had to return to the Jade Lake Sacred Ground after going to the Huangtian Mystic Realm. This was because she hadn't completely refined the 9 apertures Sacred Spirit Stone embryo. Now, she had already cultivated the 9 apertures Linglong's Heart of Path. She wasn't far from the 12 apertures Immortal Heart. Jiang Shengyi vaguely had a feeling that she had to cultivate the 12 apertures Immortal Heart. Yu Qingning and the Jade Lake Sacred Leader sighed as they watched Jun Xiaoyao and the others leave. Heroes emerge from the young. I didn't expect the son of God of the Jun family to be so monstrous. He saved the mystic realm by himself. I've found a good partner. Yu Qingning sighed and was happy for her disciple. They had also heard some news in the past few days. They didn't expect Jun Xiaoyao to do such a big thing. However, I don't know why, but I feel uneasy, the Jade Lake Sacred Leader said with a frown. Oh, why? Yu Qingning asked. I see the Queen Mother of the West's shadow in Jiangshengyi, the Jade Lake Sacred Leader said. Yu Qingning was startled. Then, she said, I don't think so. The disaster of the foreign realm has just been quelled. What kind of disaster would there be? I just hope I'm overthinking it. The Jade Lake Sacred Leader shook her head. Jun Xiaoyao, Jiang Shengyi, and Jiang Luoli rode on the Azure Sky Rock and returned to the Huangtian mystic realm. What happened at the Jade Lake had spread like wildfire. Jun Xiaoyao returned to the Nine Heavens mystic realm and wiped out all the living beings on the Sacred Spirit Island. Even the Sacred Spirit Beast that accompanied the Stone Emperor, the purple-gold Sacred Qilin, was refined by Jun Xiaoyao himself. This display of power shocked the entire mystic realm. Jun Xiaoyao had achieved his goal. On the other side, in a small void world that had been opened up by an utmost powerful being, Lin Fan's heart was beating rapidly. An enormous island the size of a continent floated in the air. There were all kinds of immortal gold shining brightly on it. There were thousands of Tao laws and dense, spiritual qi. This was the headquarters of the immortal force, the Sacred Spirit Island. At this moment, in an ancient cave deep inside the Sacred Spirit Island, a majestic figure in stone armor sat with his legs crossed. The stone armor was extremely simple. It was even a little tattered. It had an ancient aura. The figure was a very young man. His muscles were bulging like they were made of metal. His skin was very strange. It was grayish-white like a rock, but it had an immortal and indestructible aura. He was the little stone emperor of the Sacred Spirit Island, a young sacred spirit whose name shook the entire mystic realm. His father was a sacred spirit who had once swept across the mystic realm. He was the invincible stone emperor born from the immortal stone embryo. As the direct descendant of the stone emperor, the little stone emperor had inherited some of his father's talent. His body also emitted an immortal and indestructible aura. It was the power of the immortal stone embryo. It was because of this that the little stone emperor wanted to obtain Jiang Shengyi's nine-hold sacred spirit stone embryo. If he could fuse with it, his monstrous talent would be pushed to another peak. He might even reach a certain level of perfection. At this moment a figure appeared. It was a seed-level figure of the Sacred Spirit Island and one of the Little Stone Emperor's followers. My lord, Bone Lady, the seed-level prodigy wanted to say something but stopped. His expression was not very good. Speak, the Little Stone Emperor said indifferently. The nine-hold Sacred Spirit Stone Embryo was not retrieved. Bone Lady and the others have all died. Even Lord Purple Gold Sacred Qilin has died. What? A terrifying gray light shot out of the Little Stone Emperor's eyes. It was a powerful petrifying demonic light. Not only that, but they have all been refined, the seed-level prodigy said in a deep voice. Boom! The Little Stone Emperor's aura erupted. The entire cave rumbled and trembled. Dust rustled and fell. Speak clearly. How can a mere Jade Lake sacred ground do such a thing? The Little Stone Emperor said coldly. Next, the follower told the Little Stone Emperor everything that had happened at the Jade Lake sacred ground. After listening, the Little Stone Emperor fell silent. His face was as cold as an eternal abyss. Chapter 1139. This wasn't the first time Little Stone Emperor had heard of Jun Xiaoyao's name. He had been sealed by his father, the Stone Emperor, and had only awakened from the immortal source in this golden age. After awakening, the name he had heard the most was Jun Xiaoyao. To be honest, Little Stone Emperor didn't think much of it. In his opinion, if he had awakened earlier, how could he have the reputation of being invincible among the younger generation like Jun Xiaoyao? Jun Xiaoyao, what a Jun Xiaoyao! He's quite bold. Not only did he kill my follower, but he even killed Senior Sacred Qilin. If only Bone Lady had been killed, that would be fine. However, even the purple gold Sacred Qilin had died. That was his father, the Stone Emperor's sacred spirit beast. Even if they didn't give face to the monk, they still had to give face to the Buddha. Not many people dared to touch the purple gold Sacred Qilin. The only explanation was that Jun Xiaoyao didn't care about the Stone Emperor at all. However, that was indeed the case. Jun Xiaoyao was already thinking about how to refine the Stone Emperor. That Jun Xiaoyao is really despicable. He actually refined them all. The follower's expression was also very ugly. For the Sacred Spirit tribe, the biggest taboo was undoubtedly being treated as a resource. If anyone dared to use the Sacred Spirit tribe as a material to forge weapons, they would be angered by the Sacred Spirit tribe. However, is the news about Jun Xiaoyao in the desolate border true? Little Stone Emperor asked. That is indeed true, the follower replied. There was a hint of seriousness in Little Stone Emperor's eyes. Although he was arrogant and domineering, he wasn't a fool. He could despise Jun Xiaoyao verbally, but he couldn't really treat Jun Xiaoyao as trash. You can leave first. When the time comes, I will naturally go and meet Jun Xiaoyao. Little Stone Emperor waved his hand. Yes. There was a hint of excitement in the follower's eyes. Was Little Stone Emperor finally going to come out of seclusion? After the followers left, the Little Stone Emperor's eyes surged with coldness. It is nothing more than relying on a special external force to suppress and kill the calamity. However, the true disaster is not limited to the other side's calamity. When the true calamity and turmoil arrives, only then will my Father come into being and fight for the true will of heaven. At that time, our Holy Spirit Island will rise to power and dominate the immortal region. Flames of ambition burned in the Little Stone Emperor's eyes. The Holy Spirit lineage had a very deep foundation. Since ancient times, it was unknown how many Holy Spirits they had produced. If they were truly united, in fact, it wasn't much worse than the Archean royalty, the Supreme Xian Ting, or the Jun family. Jun Xiaoyao naturally didn't know what Little Stone Emperor was thinking. But he didn't care. Fufeng of Gojoseon had the speed of a quasi-emperor. Not long after, they returned to the Huangtian mystic realm. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were filled with nostalgia. He hadn't returned to the Huangtian mystic realm for a long time since he stepped on the Emperor's road. Why did Jun Xiaoyao want to become stronger? Other than wanting to reach the peak, overlook the ages, and solve all the mysteries in the world. Another important reason was that he wanted to protect his family, lovers, and beauties. Jun Wuhui also held this belief, which was why he was so persistent. Brother Xiaoyao, are you afraid of returning home? Jiang Luoli said with a smile. After we go to the Jun family, we also have to go back to the Jiang family, Jiang Xingyi said. Jun Xiaoyao nodded slightly. Riding the azure sky rock, they landed in the Huangtian mystic realm. Huangtian mystic realm, Emperor State. The Jun family was as prosperous as ever. Since the immortal battle, the Jun family had destroyed a group of immortal forces. They had become the well-deserved overlord of the Huangtian mystic realm. It could even be said that the entire Huangtian mystic realm was the Jun family's territory. Even the Ji family, the Yi family, the Renxian sect, the demonic sect, the Little Western Paradise, and other ancient families and immortal forces had been keeping a low profile and had never clashed with the Jun family. The Jun family's reputation had already spread far and wide. Some time ago, the great ancestors of the Jun family returned and spread the news of the desolate border. The Jun family's reputation suddenly skyrocketed. Jun Wuhui and Jun Xiaoyao, father and son, had almost become a legend. Unlike the Luotian mystic realm, the Huangtian mystic realm was the Jun family's territory. The Jun family would naturally spread the news quickly. The entire Huangtian mystic realm was in an uproar. The Jun family was also in an extreme state of excitement. Their joy hadn't subsided even until now. At this moment, in the Jun family of the Emperor's state, a majestic shadow covered the sky. "Who is it?" a guard of the Jun family shouted. However, when they saw the figure standing on the azure sky rock, they were immediately shocked and excited. "Lord Son of God has returned." A mighty bell rang and spread throughout the Jun family. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Countless figures broke through the air from all over the Jun family's ancestral hall. "Lord Son of God has returned. He's finally back. Let's see who dares to say that the news of the desolate border is fake." "Haha, Xiaoyao is back." Numerous figures appeared. Jun Xiaoyao's arrival almost alarmed the entire Jun family. The goddess of the Jiang family is here too." Some family members saw Jiang Shengyi and Jiang Luoli, and a knowing smile appeared in their eyes. "Xiaoyao, it's good that you're back." The 18th ancestor, the 16th ancestor, and the others appeared with joy. "Haha, grandson, you're here." At this moment, a rough and excited voice was heard. Jun Xiaoyao sweated when he heard what sounded like an insult. He immediately knew who it was that had arrived. An old man with white hair and a beard ran over excitedly. It was his grandfather, Jun Zhantian. "I'm sorry for making you worry." Jun Xiaoyao cupped his hands and said, "Haha, it's good that you're back safely." Jun Zhantian was extremely emotional. Even his old eyes were a little red. At this moment, another graceful and beautiful woman appeared. It was Jiang Ro. "Mother." Jun Xiaoyao cupped his hands slightly. Jiang Ro's eyes reddened as she hugged Jun Xiaoyao tightly. Only God knew how worried she was about Jun Xiaoyao. The two men she cared about the most, Jun Wuhui and Jun Xiaoyao, were fighting outside and in the most dangerous situation. It could be said that Jiang Ro could not even rest and sleep well. "It's good that you're back, it's good that you're back." Jiang Ro wanted to say something. Father said that he has his own matters and responsibilities, so he won't be coming back for the time being. Jun Xiaoyao sighed. Jiang Ro bit her lip. It was impossible to say that she didn't have any resentment. She resented Jun Wuhui for not coming back to see her even once after so many years. "But father told me that he let you down," Jun Xiaoyao continued. Jiang Ro's eyes reddened and tears fell. She was resentful, but she really couldn't hate him. Who asked her husband to be a hero who cared about the common people and had an indomitable spirit? Well, Xiaoyao should be happy that he's back. Although Wuhui isn't back, you don't have to worry too much about him. 18th ancestor advised. That's right. In our generation, Wuhui's status is equivalent to Xiaoyao's. Believe in him. A stalwart middle-aged man appeared. He was Jun Xiaoyao's second uncle, Jun Wuhui's brother, and the current head of the Jun family, Jun Wui. Jun Xiaoyao's arrival also alarmed the head of the family, Jun Wui. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao was the absolute center of the entire Jun family. The status of the elders, the head of the family, and even the ancestors couldn't compare to Jun Xiaoyao, because he represented the future and hope of the Jun family. Chapter 1140. After Jun Xiaoyao returned to the Jun family, he saw many familiar faces. For example, his first maidservant, Jun Linglong. When she saw Jun Xiaoyao, she was so emotional that she cried. There was also Bai Yu'er and Su Ziqiong. He brought Nalan Ruashi and Jun Ying'er from the 10 lands of the lower world. Wu Mingyue, the eldest princess of the Jin dynasty, was also the first to show up when she heard that Jun Xiaoyao had returned. She was overjoyed. Regardless of what happened between these people and Jun Xiaoyao, whether it was pleasant or unpleasant, Jun Xiaoyao was still able to tell. After such a long time, everything was relieved. These women never expected to get anything from Jun Xiaoyao. They were satisfied as long as they could stay in the Jun family and see Jun Xiaoyao occasionally. They would never fall in love with another man in their lives, because they would fall in love with Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao could only return these women with a smile and a hug. However, this was enough to make them cry tears of joy and happiness. The news of Jun Xiaoyao's return to the Huangtian mystic realm spread throughout the Huangtian mystic realm in a short period of time as expected. For a moment, the entire Huangtian mystic realm was in an uproar. Countless creatures came to the Emperor's state, wanting to see the young hero who ended the disaster of the foreign realm with their own eyes. The Jun family threw a grand banquet for Jun Xiaoyao's return as well, in order to welcome him back. As long as it was a force in the Huangtian mystic realm, regardless of their relationship with the Jun family, they would send someone to attend the banquet and send a big gift. The people of the Jiang family also came, including Jun Xiaoyao's grandfather, Jiang Daoxiu, who was also very happy. Jiang Shengyi and Jiang Loli also saw their relatives and felt emotional. The people of the emperor's court also came. After all, Jun Xiaoyao, the master of the emperor's court, had returned. The powerhouses of the immortal ancient clans, such as the Dawn deity of the Beauty clan and others, came. The four mystique venerable ones of the Bronze Immortal Hall, an old blind man, a cripple, Fang Xunyang, and the parrot also came. Jun Xiaoyao, who was extremely weak in their eyes back then, had grown to a level that they could not ignore. They could only sigh. Queen Medusa of the Snake People, Bai Ling, and others. Xia of the Xia family of the Business Alliance of 10,000 Clans, Xia Bingyun, and others. The last generation of the Sacred Body, Ning Chen, Xiao Xianxian, and others. Aside from Jun Xiaoyao, Wu, who was considered another sacred body of the ancients. After being rescued by Jun Xiaoyao, Guardian Wu became a core member of the emperor's court. As the last generation sacred body, Wu, whose current strength had reached the creation divine supremacy level. Jun Xiaoyao was Jun Xiaoyao. Jun was Jun was Later on, Jun Xiaoyao even bestowed him with 50 drops of Saint Physique blood essence. That was the blood essence of a perfect Saint Physique with 10 shackles severed. The current Wu, who was still some distance away from breaking through the 10th shackle. But with his current strength, he shouldn't be able to find any match among the 7th-level supreme martial artists. Jun Xiaoyao thought highly of Wu, who, after all, he was the only last-generation saint body of the Desolation Temple other than himself. Jun Xiaoyao believed that Wu, who had the potential to become a great success, holy physique. At that time, it would play a very important role in suppressing the chaos. After all, the lineage of the divine physique was born in response to calamities. After that, Yen Rumeng also came. She was the goddess of the demon god palace, and she had returned to the Huangtian mystic realm first. The 9-headed lion had also arrived and was jumping up and down in excitement when he saw Jun Xiaoyao. It didn't look like a mighty 9-headed lion at all, but more like a husky. "Master Boohoo, I can be your mount again." At this time, a small green bird was sweating like a waterfall. It was the Fufeng of Gojoseon. Even mounts were included in this age? The corners of the Fufeng of Gojoseon's eyes twitched. The competition to be a mount was already so fierce. "How are you qualified to be my master's mount?" The small green bird, which was the Fufeng of Gojoseon, spoke in human language. "Damn, a mixed bird dares to look down on me?" The 9-headed lion's 9 heads showed a look of disdain. This made the Fufeng of Gojoseon a little crazy. He was a quasi-emperor, okay? He was the most miserable quasi-emperor in history. Okay. Jun Xiaoyao also shook his head and smiled. What a clown. Then, the banquet began and everyone was happy. The vast majority of the forces could only eat outside at the banquet. Those who could enter the Jun family's banquet were either top forces or forces absorbed by the emperor's court. In the crowd, a beautiful woman also came. She looked at Jun Xiaoyao with a face full of infatuation. She was the passerby who didn't deserve to have a name, the princess of the great Shang dynasty. She had been admiring Jun Xiaoyao since the 10-years-old banquet until now. However, the princess of the great Shang dynasty was still alone. After all, it was not just a saying that she fell in love with Xiaoyao for the rest of her life. Of course, there were many women like her. Jun Xiaoyao glanced at the princess of the great Shang dynasty. Although she didn't have much of a presence, and he didn't even know her name. But after all, she was someone he had seen since the 10-years-old banquet. Jun Xiaoyao came to the princess of the great Shang dynasty. Son of God! The princess of the great Shang dynasty was flattered. Her cheeks were red as she stammered. I remember that the great Shang dynasty has already joined the emperor's court, right? Jun Xiaoyao said gently. Yes, it's the honor of the great Shang dynasty to be able to serve the son of God's emperor's court. Also, Lord Son of God, I'm no longer a princess, the princess of the great Shang dynasty said. Oh! Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows. I'm the new emperor of the great Shang dynasty. The princess of the great Shang dynasty, no, the empress of the great Shang dynasty, said. I see. Congratulations. Jun Xiaoyao smiled. The empress of the great Shang dynasty blushed, and was so happy that she was about to faint. Anyone now, even if it was just to speak a word or two with Jun Xiaoyao, it would definitely be a supreme honor, and would make countless people envious. By the way, I don't know your name yet, Jun Xiaoyao said. Even a passerby should have a name. The empress of the great Shang dynasty said shyly, Lord Son of God, my name is, however. Before she could finish, Jiang Luoli pulled Jun Xiaoyao away, saying that Jiang Ro had something to talk to him about. The empress of the great Shang dynasty stood rooted to the ground in a daze. Her red lips were open and she was speechless. We still don't know the true name of the empress of the great Shang dynasty. On the other side, Jiang Luoli pulled Jun Xiaoyao to the side hall. He realized that Jiang Xingyi was also here. However, Jiang Ro had a straight face. Jun Xiaoyao's heart skipped a beat, thinking that Jiang Ro was blaming him for abducting his aunt. However, Jiang Ro said seriously, Xiaoyao, let me ask you, when are you going to resolve the important matter in your life? I don't object to you and Wu Hue going out to explore the world. However, you have to leave a seed for the Jun family and give me grandchildren. Jiang Ro's words made Jun Xiaoyao sweat slightly. When it came to urging marriage, all parents in the world were the same. However, he looked at Jiang Luoli and then at the shy Jiang Xingyi. This time, he wouldn't run away like before. Mother, I've already decided. Let's find a time to get engaged first. When Jiang Ro heard this, she was stunned at first, then looked at Jun Xiaoyao in surprise. Was this still the Jun Xiaoyao who was very indifferent to relationships? Xiaoyao, you're finally enlightened. Jiang Ro was very surprised and pleasantly surprised. I've thought it through. Sister Xingyi and Luoli are the people I want to be with, Jun Xiaoyao said seriously. After Jiang Ro heard this, she was overjoyed and her eyes turned red. Jiang Luoli was her daughter-in-law. Jiang Xingyi was also an excellent woman. That's great. Luoli is the daughter-in-law I like. So is Xingyi. In fact, I've wanted to matchmake the two of you for a long time and give birth to a little connate divine body Taoist embryo for me, Jiang Ro said happily. Sister, what are you talking about? Jiang Xingyi was abnormally shy. Her snow-white and sparkling face was as bright as the sunset. You're still calling me sister. Don't worry, it won't be long before you change, Jiang Ro teased kindly. Haha, Xiaoyao, this is great news. Jun Zhantian and some other family elders appeared at some point. They looked at Jiang Luoli and Jiang Xingyi happily, very satisfied. Jiang Xingyi was so embarrassed that she buried her head in Jun Xiaoyao's arms. Jiang Luoli, on the other hand, was heartless. She smiled happily, and two sweet dimples appeared on her cheeks. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao sighed with emotion. He had beautiful women, family, friends, and family by his side. This was probably the so-called happiness. The more ordinary it was, the more precious it was. This is the existence I want to protect. No turmoil or calamity can threaten them. Jun Xiaoyao swore in his heart. In order to achieve this goal, he had to continue cultivating until he truly became the most powerful person in history and erased all turmoil. Heavenly Emperor June. Chapter 1141. The entire banquet lasted for 7 days and 7 nights. During this time, Jun Xiaoyao also saw many old friends. He also drank some wine, but he didn't deliberately use his dermic powers to force the alcohol out. This kind of tipsy feeling was not bad. From the Emperor Road to the ancient Ultimate Road, to the original Emperor City, to the border and then to the outland. Along the way, Jun Xiaoyao's nerves were tense. He advanced step by step and experienced countless things. It was rare for him to have free time now. When he returned to his family, he was surrounded by beauties, family, and friends. Jun Xiaoyao was also very relaxed. When it was time to enjoy, he would never mistreat himself. When the banquet was about to end, however, Yan Rumeng went to see Jun Xiaoyao alone. In a side hall, Jun Xiaoyao looked at the woman in front of him. She had a perfect face, a perfect figure, and a pair of snow-white long legs. "Why are you looking for me?" Although in the beginning of their acquaintance, Yan Rumeng and he had a conflict. At that time, in the 10 lands of the lower realm, Yan Rumeng, as the holy maiden of the demon god palace, wanted to bring the Sky Demon Crown Prince to the upper realm. In the end, the Sky Demon Crown Prince was killed by Jun Xiaoyao. Not only that, Jun Xiaoyao also pinched her long legs and asked her what her true form was. However, after the initial conflict, the relationship between Yan Rumeng and Jun Xiaoyao eased. There was even a little ambiguity. In the ancient Ultimate Road, Yan Rumeng had also accompanied Jun Xiaoyao through a section of the ancient road. She also promised Jun Xiaoyao that she would join the monarch court. Therefore, the relationship between the two was quite harmonious. "I heard that you're getting engaged?" Yan Rumeng ran her jade-like hands through her smooth and soft hair. Although Jun Xiaoyao hadn't announced the news of the engagement yet, Yan Rumeng could always find out if she wanted to. "That's right." Jun Xiaoyao nodded slightly. The reason why he didn't announce it now was because the time hadn't been confirmed yet. He still had to head to Immortal Academy and Void Sky World later, so he didn't have time for now. Yan Rumeng smiled faintly. Her snow-white face was absolutely beautiful, without a single blemish. "Do you still remember when we were on the ancient Ultimate Road? In order to get rid of some flies, I even told others that you were my husband. You even said that I took advantage of you." Thinking of some things in the past, Yan Rumeng smiled, but the light in her eyes was faint. Jun Xiaoyao remained silent. What else could he say? Looking at the silent Jun Xiaoyao, Yan Rumeng suddenly felt like her heart was being stabbed. Then, a strange light flashed through her eyes. Suddenly, she approached Jun Xiaoyao and placed her jade-like hand on his chest. Her red lips parted slightly as she exhaled a sweet and hot breath. "Xiaoyao, you won't only marry 2 women, right? After all, you are an unparalleled wondrous man from past to present, a supreme expert who will rule the world in the future. Forget about having 2 wives, even having 3,000 beauties in a harem is something that couldn't be any more normal." When faced with Yan Rumeng's sudden intimacy, Jun Xiaoyao took a step back. "You're drunk." "No, I'm sober." "You still haven't answered my question." Yan Rumeng pouted coquettishly, displaying a moving and charming little woman's style. "I just got engaged, yet you're already making me answer this type of question? Are you trying to make me a scumbag?" Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. No matter how he was, he wouldn't go so far as to act randomly right after proposing the engagement. Then wouldn't that be extremely irresponsible to Jiang Shengyi and Jiang Luoli? "That's fine too, I can even be your concubine." Yan Rumeng smiled sweetly, her charm moving. However, Jun Xiaoyao frowned slightly, sensing that something was wrong. He knew Yan Rumeng's feelings for him, but she definitely wasn't a woman who didn't know her limits. "No, you're not Yan Rumeng." Looking at the strange light that flashed through Yan Rumeng's eyes, Jun Xiaoyao pushed Yan Rumeng away. "Io, what a heartless little brother." Don't you pity your concubine? Yen Ruming lowered her eyes, looking innocent. I think I know who you are. Jun Xiaoyao looked at Yen Ruming and said lightly. Oh! Yen Ruming's eyes moved. Demon God Palace, Little Demon Empress, Jun Xiaoyao said directly. Although he had never really met the Little Demon Empress. But the Little Demon Empress had possessed Yen Ruming's body a few times before, and had even fought with him. And most importantly, the Little Demon Empress seemed to be lusting after his body. I didn't expect Son of God to still be thinking of your concubine. Yen Ruming, no, the Little Demon Empress, spoke and laughed, charming and charming. Although she didn't appear in her original form. But it was rumored that she was one of the most beautiful women in the Huangtian immortal realm, and the ruler of Demon God Palace. It could be said that she had power, beauty, and strength all in one. Any man who could be looked at by the Little Demon Empress would be honored for 3 lifetimes. But now Jun Xiaoyao was frowning. He felt that the Little Demon Empress was a problem. Senior, why did you possess Yen Ruming's body and come here? Jun Xiaoyao's tone became cold. So what if she was the Little Demon Empress? Now, in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes, Demon God Palace was just SOSO. Calling me senior makes me sound old. How about calling me Yao Yao? The Little Demon Empress was still smiling charmingly. If you have something to say, then say it. Don't tell me you're really here to reminisce, Jun Xiaoyao said lightly. The Little Demon Empress smiled and said, You should know that the real calamity hasn't ended. Soon, there will be great turmoil in the immortal realm. The Little Demon Empress words made Jun Xiaoyao's expression freeze. He thought of the fragment of the future again. So, you know some inside information? Jun Xiaoyao looked straight at the Little Demon Empress. Call me Yao Yao, the Little Demon Empress said coquettishly. Okay, Yao Yao, what do you know? Jun Xiaoyao said patiently. He felt that the Little Demon Empress might really know some inside information. He even started to guess the Little Demon Empress' true identity and background. Little brother Xiaoyao has always been smart. You must be trying to figure out my identity now. It's okay. I can tell you directly that I'm related to the 9 heavens. The Little Demon Empress words made Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flash. Above the 9 heavens, the land of the ultimate ruins, and the mysterious Forbidden Zone was located above the 9 heavens. The successor of the human immortal sect, Ji Daoi, also came from a forbidden family above the 9 heavens. It could be said that it was an incomparably mysterious and unfathomable region. It was independent of the immortal realm, and formed a forbidden zone beyond the heavens. And the Little Demon Empress was actually related to the 9 heavens' ultimate ruins. Could she be related to some forbidden family or even the Forbidden Zone? Why is little brother Xiaoyao surprised? The Little Demon Empress smiled sweetly. So, what are you here to tell me? Jun Xiaoyao said. It's very simple. If little brother Xiaoyao is willing to be with me, I can help you get through this turmoil safely, the Little Demon Empress said. Her words made Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flash. In other words, the turmoil this time started above the 9 heavens' ultimate ruins? Then, what was the cause? Could it be that there was also a mastermind behind the scenes like the ultimate disaster? And from what the Little Demon Empress said, she could protect Jun Xiaoyao and even the Jun family. This was enough to prove that she had a close relationship with some forces above the 9 heavens. She could even be someone from one of those forces. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao's doubts increased. Chapter 1142. How about it? Is little brother Xiaoyao willing? The Little Demon Empress' eyes burned like fire. So what if it's a forbidden zone that's independent from the heavens? Would my Jun family be afraid and need your protection? Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. The mysterious Forbidden Zone, the ancient Forbidden Family, indeed had a deep and immeasurable foundation. But the Jun family was not an ordinary immortal force. If the Forbidden Zone wanted to deal with the Jun family, they would have to consider their own strength. The Little Demon Empress did not refute and nodded slightly, Indeed, the Jun family is very strong, so strong that even some forbidden zones fear them. But, don't forget, the Jun family is currently under the curse of calamity. Jun Xiaoyao laughed and said, "You should also know that it's impossible for the curse of calamity to destroy my Jun family. This is not a big deal to my Jun family." The little demon empress said, "Indeed, but there is still a limit. You should know that in a battle between the strongest, even a small difference can determine life and death. If there is an unimaginable turmoil in the future, will the Jun family's experts take the risk of the curse of calamity to participate in the battle? At that time, the Jun family will only be able to protect itself." The little demon empress' words were not without reason. In a battle between the strongest, any small factor could determine the outcome. Not to mention something like the curse of calamity. "So you can help me get through this turmoil?" Jun Xiaoyao said. "Of course, since I have spoken, I can naturally guarantee your safety," the little demon empress said with a chuckle. "Do I look like someone who lives off a woman?" Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows slightly. Although he had a dark history in the foreign realm, this was the immortal realm. It was the Jun family's territory. He did not need to live off a woman. "So what? I am willing to let you eat me. After all, you are so fresh and delicious." The little demon empress licked her red lips. Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. Who was the one who wanted to eat whom? "You can't just be lusting after my body, right?" Jun Xiaoyao said straightforwardly. This was not narcissism, but the truth. Indeed, there were countless women who coveted his body. The original sacred body of the ancients was enough to make me look forward to it. Now there is the chaotic body. No, there seems to be other auras. The little demon empress was very close to Jun Xiaoyao, and her sparkling nose was still moving, as if she was smelling the scent on Jun Xiaoyao's body. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed. This little demon empress' perception was quite sharp. "Don't tell me your original form is a dog? Your nose is so sharp," Jun Xiaoyao mocked coldly. The demon god palace was supposed to be filled with demons. Yen Ruming's original body was the skydream bewildering butterfly. That little demon empress shouldn't be a human either. Of course, this was just Jun Xiaoyao's teasing. No matter how the little demon empress was, her original form couldn't possibly be that of a dog. That would be too damaging to her reputation as the most beautiful woman in the immortal region. Unexpectedly, the little demon empress didn't get angry as expected. Instead, she blushed and said, "So the Son of God likes this. It's okay, sometimes it should be a little fun. I'm willing to be the Son of God's little bitch." Woof, woof. Jun Xiaoyao was completely speechless. If a woman was really open, there was really nothing a man could do. Who could stand that? There were probably not many men who could stand the little demon empress teasing. However, Jun Xiaoyao was still very calm. "You don't just covet my body, do you? What's your goal?" The little demon empress said, "Of course I covet it. It would be even better if we could dual cultivate. Besides, chaos is coming, and this world will probably be reshuffled. Who knows how many immortal forces will completely disappear. Even if the Jun family is affected by the curse of calamity, it is still the most powerful force in this world." Jun Xiaoyao immediately understood and said with a cold smile, "I see. Actually, you also want to ally with my Jun family and borrow my Jun family's power. Of course. As long as you are willing to be with me, then we will naturally be a family. We are bound together for good or ill." The little demon empress was also very straightforward. She could seduce the most handsome and talented man in this world. She could also ally with the most powerful family. This was a business that would definitely be profitable. "I refuse." Jun Xiaoyao was very decisive. The little demon empress was also stunned, and then said, "Is it because of the two women of the Jiang family? It's okay, I don't mind. It's not bad to have more people exercise. I don't care if you mind or not, but whether they mind or not." "Obviously, they will mind a lot," Jun Xiaoyao said. not to mention Jiang Shengyi and the others. Even Jun Xiaoyao himself minded a lot. No matter how stunning and beautiful the little demon empress was, how mysterious the power behind her was, so what? Previously, she had almost no relationship with him, but now she wanted to sleep in the same bed as him. Jun Xiaoyao knew that he was no saint, but he would not be so careless as to do such a thing. Also, if he wanted to take the first place, it would not be the little demon empress. Luo Xiangling, that gentle and beautiful auntie, was she not good enough? Tsk, son of God is really heartless. I am so sad, the little demon empress said sadly. But then, she revealed a smile and said, but who knows what will happen in the future? Maybe little big brother will change his mind when the time comes? You are thinking too much, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. Hee, I am willing to wait for that day. It won't be too long. As soon as her voice fell, the demonic brilliance in Yan Rumeng's eyes disappeared. She woke up and realized that she was very close to Jun Xiaoyao. What's wrong? Yan Rumeng blushed, not knowing what happened. Nothing. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. But, I still want to give you my blessings, Yan Rumeng said with a serious face. In the eyes of outsiders, she was ethereal and holy. Only in front of Jun Xiaoyao, she seemed to have turned back into an ordinary woman. Thank you, Jun Xiaoyao said. Yan Rumeng looked deeply at Jun Xiaoyao. They had been enemies at the beginning, and they had accompanied him on the ancient road. Jun Xiaoyao had left an unerasable mark in her heart. Jun Xiaoyao treated her very well, but it should be limited to friends. But thinking about it carefully, Yan Rumeng still felt a little depressed. After all, her long legs had been touched by Jun Xiaoyao. Seriously, I have been taken advantage of, and I didn't get any benefits. Yan Rumeng turned and left, secretly biting her lip. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao's voice came from behind. You are already a member of my Emperor Monarch court, please take care of me in the future. Hearing this, Yan Rumeng's eyes were wet, and a tear almost fell. How good would it be if the Emperor Monarch court was replaced by Jun Xiaoyao? This enemy, do you really want me to wait for him for the rest of my life? Yan Rumeng sighed in her heart, but her mouth responded in a low voice. She had met Xiaoyao for the rest of her life. There was no other way. Looking at Yan Rumeng's graceful back, Jun Xiaoyao retracted his gaze. The smile on his face disappeared, and it was replaced by a thoughtful look. Although he was not very fond of the little demon empress, but she did bring Jun Xiaoyao an important piece of news. The great calamity in the future was very likely to come from the ultimate ruin above the 9 heavens. Is the great calamity in that corner of the future the dark turmoil? Jun Xiaoyao said in a deep voice. Suppressing the dark turmoil was the duty of the sacred physique. And now, other than the last sacred physique Wu Hu, he was the only sacred physique. Oh right, there is one more, Jun Xiaoyao's mind flashed. Emperor without end. Was he still in this world? Chapter 1143. The news from the little demon empress was a warning to Jun Xiaoyao. He had to make the best use of his time to continue cultivating and become stronger. Although it was very comfortable to stay in the Jun family, with his family, lovers, and friends, it was just a short rest. Jun Xiaoyao prepared to leave for the 9 Heavens Immortal Academy. But before that, he had to go to the Jun family's library and investigate the Grey Clan. After 7 days and 7 nights, the banquet ended. Jun Xiaoyao also went to the library. However, to Jun Xiaoyao's surprise, he didn't find any records about the Grey Clan. This made Jun Xiaoyao feel a little strange. The Jun family's library might not be all-encompassing, but it at least recorded most of the ancient history of the immortal realm. The only possibility was that the Grey Clan was very mysterious, and they were rarely recorded. Since he couldn't find any information in the library, Jun Xiaoyao could only go to the ancestors. The ancestors of the Jun family were all living fossils, and they were a part of history in and of themselves. Jun Xiaoyao went to the 8th ancestor, Jun Tianming. The Jun family's ancestors were usually high and mighty, and even some of the Jun family's geniuses had a hard time meeting them. Even so, these great ancestors were all extremely benevolent toward Jun Xiaoyao. They even wanted Jun Xiaoyao to ask them questions. Jun Xiaoyao's current strength was no weaker than some of the ancestors. "Xiaoyao, why are you looking for me?" Jun Tianming, the 8th patriarch, looked at Jun Xiaoyao with a smile, looking very kind and benevolent, as if he was looking at his own grandson. Jun Xiaoyao cupped his hands and said, "I would like to ask the 8th ancestor about the Grey Clan." Jun Xiaoyao's words stunned Jun Tianming, and a thoughtful look flashed in his eyes. "Xiaoyao, why do you want to ask about the Grey Clan?" Hearing Jun Tianming's words, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed. It seemed that Jun Tianming did know something. "I'm just curious. Maybe we'll meet in the future." Jun Xiaoyao smiled. He also didn't mention anything about the Grey Clan and the 8 Sons of Heaven. He didn't want the patriarchs to worry. Jun Tianming's eyes were deep. The old ancestors of the Jun family had lived for a long time, and they were all shrewd people. How could they not have thought of such things? Of course, since Jun Xiaoyao didn't say anything, Jun Tianming naturally wouldn't force him. He said, "Xiaoyao, how much do you know about the power structure of the immortal realm?" Jun Xiaoyao replied without hesitation, "The Jun family is invincible." Ahem. Even Jun Tianming coughed dryly. "Although this is the truth, what else?" The ruler of the old era, the supreme Xian Ting. Xian Ting in the darkness, hell. A group of Archean royalty forces. The Holy Spirit lineage is not up to par. There are also some other trashy immortal forces. Because what Jun Tianming asked was the power structure of the immortal realm. Therefore, Jun Xiaoyao didn't include the Life Forbidden Zone, the foreign emperor clans, and other forces. That's right, but I have to tell you that the water in the immortal realm is very deep. It's like an iceberg. Only the tip of the iceberg is exposed on the surface of the water. Most of it is sunk below the surface of the water. Jun Tianming's words made Jun Xiaoyao nod slightly. That was indeed the case. During the war between the two worlds, there were some hidden ancient clans and ancient forces supreme experts who appeared. Those were not known to others. Therefore, the power structure of the immortal realm is divided into the surface of the water and the surface of the water, Jun Tianming said. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed, and he said, "So what the 8 ancestors mean is that the Grey Clan is one of the most powerful forces below the surface of the water." Jun Tianming nodded and said, "That's about it. The Grey Clan seems to be hiding behind the scenes and manipulating the era. They are the oldest native clan in the 9 Heavens immortal realm. They have been around since the Jun clan was established in the immortal realm." Jun Xiaoyao fell into deep thought after hearing Jun Tianming's word. Did it mean that the Jun clan wasn't a native clan of the 9 Heavens immortal realm? Jun Tianming added, "They think they are a clan that is favored by the heavens, and are under the heavens' control. If the Xian Ting is the ruler of the 9 Heavens immortal realm, then the Grey Clan thinks they are the judges of the heavens' rules of the immortal realm. Anyone that goes against the heavens' rules and destroys the balance is the enemy of the Grey Clan." I see. Jun Xiaoyao roughly understood the situation. He also understood why the Feihua King warned him to be careful of the Grey Clan. In the eyes of the Grey Clan, he was an anomaly. The Grey Clan has always been hiding behind the scenes. Their strength is indeed unimaginable. Their bloodline seems to originate from the power of the heavens. It's unbelievably strong. However, with the arrival of the Golden Era, I believe the Grey Clan is on the verge of losing their patience, Jun Tianming said. Jun Xiaoyao said after a slight ponder, "What do you think if the Jun clan is going to fight the Grey Clan?" Jun Tianming was startled, but he soon shook his head and said with a smile, "Even the heavens will punish the Jun clan if you provoke them." Previously, when Jun Xiaoyao was playing a game with the heavens, the 7 emperors had descended upon him. The Jun clan did not care about it because they wanted to give Jun Xiaoyao some training. If the Jun clan really wanted to help him, what was the point of playing a game with the heavens? However, if the Jun clan really wanted to help him, Jun Xiaoyao would not have grown so fast, nor would he have defeated the ultimate calamity. Everything had its own cause and effect. The Jun clan was more willing to let Jun Xiaoyao grow on his own, instead of turning him into a flower in a greenhouse. Xiaoyao, you're asking about the Grey clan. Could it be that the Grey clan has their eyes on you? Jun Tianming asked. The Grey clan was the judge of the heavens. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, had won the game against the heavens. To the Grey clan, this was undoubtedly disgraceful and heresy. Not to mention that Jun Xiaoyao was an outlier. It's just a small problem. It's nothing. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head and smiled. The Grey clan would not go so far as to target him alone. As for the 8 children of heaven, if Jun Xiaoyao guessed correctly, they should be the most outstanding Dao children of the Grey clan. Compared to the average seed-level prodigy, they were definitely much stronger. However, when compared to Jun Xiaoyao, who was an outlier, they could only be said to be a little brother. Of course, this also reminded Jun Xiaoyao that he had to condense more laws and continue to break through. In that way, he would be more confident in fighting the 8 children of heaven. Alright, Xiaoyao, you can be considered a person who can become a saint now. Think about it yourself. The family won't interfere in a battle at your level, but if anyone or any force wants to bully the weak, then don't blame the Jun family for being ruthless, Jun Tianming said coldly. As the current manager of the Jun family in the Emperor State, Jun Tianming was also a domineering figure. Jun Xiaoyao nodded and then asked, about the curse of catastrophe, it shouldn't have much impact on the family, right? Jun Tianming said indifferently, the impact isn't that great, but it's still a problem. It might take some time to completely remove it. If there's any unrest in the future. Jun Xiaoyao hesitated. It won't affect the Jun family. Jun Tianming smiled. Jun Xiaoyao noticed. Jun Tianming said that it wouldn't affect the Jun family. In other words, even if there was any unrest, it should be very difficult to affect the Jun family. However, the Jun family probably didn't have much power left. Forget it, the most important thing is to improve my own strength. Jun Xiaoyao cupped his hands and left. Although the family was a safe haven, what one could truly control was one's own strength. With Jun Xiaoyao's talent, even if he just stepped into the quasi-emperor realm, he could become a giant and even affect the world. Next, I'll go to the Jiutian Immortal Academy. Jun Xiaoyao had ambitions in his heart. The ambition to become even stronger. Chapter 1144. There was no doubt that Jun Xiaoyao was living quite comfortably in the Jun family. He had relatives, lovers, and friends. It could be said that in the Huangtian mystic realm, Jun Xiaoyao had the highest status and was the most untouchable existence. If he wanted to, he could even stay in the Huangtian mystic realm forever. But that was not the path Jun Xiaoyao wanted to take. In the future, he wanted to grow to be able to protect the Jun family. He did not want to be protected by the Jun family all the time. In the following time, Jun Xiaoyao also took Jiang Shengyi and Jiang Luoli back to the Jiang family in Qingzhou. After all, that was his mother's family. He also met some of Jiang Shengyi and Jiang Luoli's relatives. Those relatives were very satisfied with Jun Xiaoyao. They even wanted to move the Civil Affairs Bureau and let them get married on the spot. They were also very proud. Jun Xiaoyao, whose name shook the heavens and who killed the disaster, could be said to be the absolute protagonist of the Golden Age. They were still moved by the 2 beauties of the Jiang family. In addition, Jun Xiaoyao also had the identity of the young master of the Jiang family. In the future, the Jiang family was destined to be like the Jun family, relying on Jun Xiaoyao's glory to completely rise to the top and continue the family's fortune. It would be even more perfect if he could have an innate holy body with Jiang Shengyi or an origin spirit sacred body with Jiang Luoli. Therefore, in the following period of time, Many of the 7th and 8th aunts of the Jiang family came to Jiang Shengyi and Jiang Luoli. Come, Shengyi, this is a 10,000-year-old agate jade red date. I hope you will have a baby. That's right. There is also a purple golden blood jade ginseng. It is the best top-grade medicine to nourish blood and qi. Women need it the most to prevent miscarriage. The concern of these 7th and 8th aunts made Jiang Shengyi unable to bear it. Her face turned red. Nothing was set in stone yet, and the engagement had not even been confirmed, but she was already thinking about preventing miscarriage. Jiang Luoli didn't mind at all. She smiled sweetly and accepted it casually. Sister Shengyi, it doesn't matter. We'll have to use it sooner or later anyway. I heard that Big Brother Xiaoyao likes daughters. In the future, Luoli will definitely give birth to a little darling for Big Brother Xiaoyao. Jiang Luoli said happily. Jiang Shengyi was completely speechless. This lass looked young and immature, but he didn't expect her to be so mature. She was still a young lady, but she already wanted to give birth to a little girl. You look like a sweet little cotton-padded jacket. Jiang Shengyi patted Jiang Luoli's head. It was no wonder that when Jun Xiaoyao got along with Jiang Luoli, he had the feeling of an old father spoiling his daughter. Jun Xiaoyao met up with a few more acquaintances in the days that followed. He purposely went to the clan of the ancients to find out the whereabouts of Yi Guchen, the reincarnation of the sword demon, whom he had once respected. In the end, the Yi family member replied. Yi Guchen had disappeared after the end of the ancient final path and the ruins of God. He did not return to the Yi family, nor did he go to the Jiutian Immortal Academy. However, Yi Guchen's life tablet was not broken, so the Yi family was not in a hurry. They only thought that Yi Guchen must have obtained some kind of opportunity or was training alone somewhere. It seems that I'm not the only one with an opportunity in this great world. Jun Xiaoyao didn't feel that it was a pity. He vaguely felt that the man who had been a sword all his life and created the forbidden technique, 10,000 deities tribulation. When he appeared in the future, he should not disappoint him. After traveling for a while, Jun Xiaoyao was ready to leave. Jiang Ro, Jun Zhantian, and the others were naturally reluctant to leave. However, they also knew that Jun Xiaoyao still had a long way to go. They couldn't drag him down. Jiang Shengyi and Jiang Luoli left with him. They rode on the Azure Sky Rock and left the Huangtian mystic realm. Sister Shengyi, you're going back to the Jade Lake sacred ground, right? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Jiang Shengyi nodded and said, Yes, I need to go through the final cultivation and transformation at the Jade Lake. Maybe when I condense the 12 apertures deity heart and become someone like the Queen Mother of the West, I can stand by your side and help you. Jiang Shengyi's eyes were gentle and affectionate. Jun Xiaoyao's heart skipped a beat. He couldn't help but think of the scene in the fragment of the future where Jiang Shengyi dug out her heart. Sister Shengyi, can you not cultivate it out? Jun Xiaoyao said without thinking. Jiang Shengyi was stunned, then laughed and said, Xiaoyao, what are you saying? Don't you want me to become stronger? Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. He also felt that it was unrealistic. Jun Xiaoyao took out the spring of life, the celestial fruit, and other divine items from the inner universe. Then, he took out a jade-green branch, which seemed to have stars flowing on it. There were leaves on the branch. Each leaf seemed to be holding up a part of the world. When Jun Xiaoyao took it out, the rules of heaven and earth around them seemed to change. This is the branch of the Tree of World? Jiang Shengyi was surprised. This was definitely a rare divine item. It was something that even the great emperors would covet. Ordinary immortal forces would never be able to take it out. A leaf of the Tree of World was comparable to the elixir of immortality. It was even rarer and more precious. It was a priceless treasure. Xiaoyao, this is too precious. Jiang Shengyi shook her head. Don't worry. The fact that I can take out this branch proves that I don't lack anything. It should be helpful for your cultivation. Jun Xiaoyao smiled. This was not the so-called bootlicker. She was already his woman. Shouldn't he dote on and love her? Compared to Jiang Xingyi's contribution to him, Jun Xiaoyao felt that he really didn't give much. Jiang Xingyi was moved and happy. After accepting it, Jiang Xingyi was about to leave for the all-heaven immortal domain. In the end, Jiang Xingyi took the initiative to kiss Jun Xiaoyao. This kiss was very deep and very passionate. Jiang Xingyi even took the initiative to breathe out lilac. This made Jiang Luoli envious. She was eager to give it a try. However, she and Jun Xiaoyao were both going to Immortal Academy, so they didn't have the chance to kiss goodbye. This kiss was very long. Jun Xiaoyao even felt that Jiang Xingyi also had something on her mind. After the kiss, Jiang Xingyi looked deeply at the person she loved the most in her life. Then, she decisively turned around and left. She was afraid that if she hesitated again, she wouldn't be willing to leave Jun Xiaoyao. Looking at the fairy in fluttering snow-white clothes who was about to leave with the wind, Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself, "Is Sister Xingyi also hiding something from me?" Then, he shook his head slightly. Instead of thinking about this, it was better to improve his strength. He turned to Jiang Luoli and said, "After returning to the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy, I will find a way to use the world power of the World Tree to help you repair the broken elemental spirit world in your body." In the Supreme Realm, not many people had an inner universe. Jun Xiaoyao always felt that Jiang Luoli's elemental spirit world should have some secret. If it was repaired, this secret might be solved. Hearing Jun Xiaoyao's words, Jiang Luoli jumped 3 feet high in excitement and threw herself into Jun Xiaoyao's arms. "Brother Xiaoyao is the best." Just now, seeing how Jun Xiaoyao took care of Jiang Xingyi, Jiang Luoli was indeed very envious. But she was very obedient and didn't compete for favor. She also wouldn't take the initiative to ask Jun Xiaoyao for the same treatment as Jiang Xingyi. She was no longer the spoiled and willful pearl in the palm of the past. Who wouldn't love such a well-behaved lowly? Jun Xiaoyao wouldn't be too biased. A bowl of water was a bowl of water. This was the basic way of doing things. Otherwise, it would be a pity if he ended up being chopped by a chopper. The Nine Heavens Immortal Academy. Next, it's time to find her. Jun Xiaoyao looked into the distance. What was Ling Yan's attitude towards him now? But no matter what, Jun Xiaoyao had to get Xian Ting's Immortal Tribulation Sword Art, because he wanted to condense the Law of Sword. Chapter 1145. The Nine Heavens Immortal Academy was not located in any of the 9 great immortal realms. Instead, it was located somewhere in the void. At a glance, the immortal island, which was as big as a continent, was quietly floating in the vast starry sky. It was enshrouded in light and immortal mist. A river of stars surrounded the immortal island like a jade belt. Many stars decorated the sky above the immortal island like decorations. The huge mountain gate was supported by meteorites and stood in the middle of the river of stars. The words, "Nine Heavens Immortal Academy," were written in a majestic manner. Is this the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy? In the distant void, a great rock flapped its wings, and the shock waves it emitted shattered the meteorites around it. Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Luoli stood on top of it. Jun Xiaoyao sighed as he looked at the majestic Nine Heavens Immortal Academy in the distance. Although he had seen a lot of things, the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy was still one of the top academies in the immortal realms. The Monster King Institute and the Archean Royalty Ancient Emperor Institute of the Monster Race were both top academies, but they were still inferior to the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy. Therefore, many of the monster race and the seeds of the Archean royalty did not want to go to their own academies. Instead, they came to the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy to cultivate. Of course, the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy did not reject them. All living beings in the immortal realms could enter the Immortal Academy to cultivate as long as they met the selection criteria. At this moment, a few guards in silver armor appeared in front of them. They were the guards of the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy, and their cultivation levels were all Saint Kings. With Saint Kings as guards, the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy was indeed powerful. Who are you? Tell me your name. Foofing of Gojoseon's aura fluctuation alerted the guards. However, they did not think that anyone would dare to act recklessly in front of the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy. Jun Xiaoyao of the Jun family. Jun Xiaoyao stood with his hands behind his back and said calmly, "What? It's Lord Son of God." The guards looked over and were shocked. They hurriedly bowed 90 degrees. They did not expect Jun Xiaoyao to come to the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy unknowingly. If they were notified in advance, the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy would definitely treat Jun Xiaoyao with the most luxurious treatment. "Lord Son of God, please come in." The guards' expressions were respectful. At the same time, they sent messages to Immortal Academy's attendants, having them inform the various elders. If it were any other prodigies, even if they were from an immortal force, these guards would not have changed their expressions. However, Jun Xiaoyao was one of the most prestigious young cultivators in the Nine Heavens Immortal Realm. Even the elders of the Immortal Academy had to treat Jun Xiaoyao as if he was their ancestor, let alone them. Jun Xiaoyao joined the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy. It wasn't Jun Xiaoyao's honor, it was the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy's honor. When Jiang Luoli saw this, she also sighed with amazement. Worthy of being Big Bro Xiaoyao. When we came to Immortal Academy, they didn't have this kind of attitude. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. He didn't really care about these superficial things. Glory, heroes, none of them were important to him. At most, they would only help him collect the power of faith. A moment later, rays of light flew out from the island. They were the respected elders of Immortal Academy. The one leading them was none other than Immortal Academy's Grand Elder. "Haha, Xiaoyao has really made me impatient." Immortal Academy's Grand Elder burst out laughing. He then glanced at the azure sky rock under Jun Xiaoyao's feet. His cultivation was in the Dao Highness realm. Even Jun Xiaoyao's mount's cultivation was higher than his. It made Immortal Academy's Grand Elder feel a little awkward. In Immortal Academy, not many people were qualified to be Jun Xiaoyao's master. What? The Jun clan's Son of God has come to Immortal Academy. It's really Lord Son of God. So that's the Jun clan's Son of God? It's my first time seeing him in person. The appearance of the elders of Immortal Academy naturally alarmed many geniuses of Immortal Academy. After hearing that Jun Xiaoyao had come to Immortal Academy, countless geniuses immediately appeared to see Jun Xiaoyao's true appearance. Densely packed silhouettes appeared, looking at Jun Xiaoyao with admiration, respect, and adoration. Of course, there were also some who didn't look too good. For example, some of the Archean royalty, some of the Xian Ting's geniuses, and others. "Young master is here." Yu Chanwan, Tang Jade Hair, Princess Longji, and others appeared. Jun Xiaoyao's followers also appeared. Some geniuses of the Jun clan's main and hidden branches also appeared. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao's arrival was enough to stir up the entire Nine Heavens Immortal Academy. Of course, there were also some who didn't appear. The current tyrant body, Ancient Void Dragon's Long Yao didn't appear. Many people thought that she was guilty and didn't dare to appear in front of Jun Xiaoyao. Gu Tizi didn't appear either. What surprised some people was that Empress Ling Yan didn't appear either. However, when everyone thought of Ling Yan's identity as the Xian Ting's young empress, she really shouldn't appear. Right at this moment, a peerlessly beautiful woman with azure blue hair and exquisite facial features appeared. She wore a plain gauze dress and had long, azure blue hair. It was Luo Xiangling. "Xiaoyao." Luo Xiangling rushed to Jun Xiaoyao. Seeing so many people around, she resisted the urge to hug Jun Xiaoyao. Jiang Luoli didn't feel any sense of danger when she saw this, because she was already calm. It's that beautiful elder. Is she also related to the Son of God of the Jun family?" Luo Xiangling's mysterious origins, powerful strength, and peerless appearance undoubtedly made her a goddess as soon as she came to the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy. Immortal Academy's great elder was also very tactful. He knew that Luo Xiangling had the cultivation of a quasi-emperor and had a close relationship with Jun Xiaoyao. Therefore, he directly gave her the title of honorary elder. This allowed Luo Xiangling to adapt a little. It wasn't much different from when she was the Luo King of Ares Academy. Xiangling, it seems that you have also temporarily adapted to life in Immortal Academy. Jun Xiaoyao smiled slightly. Haha, I have to thank you, little friend, for sending another expert to Immortal Academy, Immortal Academy's great elder said with a smile. Then, Immortal Academy held a grand welcoming party for Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao didn't like crowds, so he only entertained briefly. Immortal Academy's great elder also arranged for Jun Xiaoyao's residence. Immortal Academy had 36 heavenly caves and 72 blessed land. This was a precious land that only a group of elders and seed-level figures had the qualifications to live in. Jun Xiaoyao, Jiang Luoli, and the others were all given a heavenly cave. Immortal Academy calmed down again in the following period of time. Jun Xiaoyao's arrival set off a wave. However, inside Immortal Academy, normally, the disciples were strictly forbidden from fighting, so it was still a peaceful cultivation place in general. Jun Xiaoyao didn't immediately find Lingyan. Instead, he prepared to use the world power of the world tree to repair the broken primordial spirit world in Jiang Luoli's body. Jiang Luoli was naturally very happy, and her heart was filled with sweetness. Jun Xiaoyao was a little curious about what secrets Jiang Luoli's primordial spirit world hid. After all, he already felt that the rules of the primordial spirit world didn't seem to be the same as the rules of the immortal realm. In other words, the master of the primordial spirit world might not be from the 9 heavens immortal realm. Meanwhile, in another heavenly cave with abundant immortal qi, a beautiful young girl with 2 buns stood at the entrance of the cave and spoke into the cave. Empress, since young Master Jun came to Immortal Academy, it seems like he has been staying in the cave with Jiang Luoli. Understood. You can leave now. A cold voice came from the cave. Yes. The beautiful young woman, who was Ling Yan's maid, Sakura, nodded and left. She was sighing in her heart. Empress, even I can see that you are distracted. Why don't you be more frank? Chapter 1146. After Jun Xiaoyao settled down in Immortal Academy, he also welcomed a period of peace. As for when he would go to the Void Sky world, the Great Elder would naturally inform him when the time came. During this period, Jun Xiaoyao first used the world power of the World Tree to help Jiang Luoli repair the elemental spirit world. During this period of time, when the elemental spirit world was being repaired, Jun Xiaoyao's understanding of the world Tao also became more and more profound. The master who created the elemental spirit world should be an extremely powerful existence. What were the original levels of the elemental spirit world? Middle world, greater world, or even a single universe? Jun Xiaoyao was trying to figure it out. The levels of the innerverse were divided into the dust world, lesser world, middle world, greater world, single universe, multiverse, and so on. Jun Xiaoyao's current innerverse was the dust world. Although it was the most basic, there were not many people in the supreme realm who could create an innerverse. Many powerhouses only began to plan the creation of an innerverse after reaching the boundary Emperor realm. It was only at the Great Emperor realm that it was time to cultivate an innerverse, and those innerverses generally borrowed the laws of heaven and earth of the immortal domain. Jun Xiaoyao's innerverse completely belonged to him. This was the result of his Tao, the transformation of his divine origin. Because of the world tree, Jun Xiaoyao's innerverse was incomparably solid and stable. It was not far from the lesser world. A month passed, and Jiang Luoli's elemental spirit world was more than 10 times larger than before. Although it still did not reach the perfect level, it had been repaired a lot compared to before. Jiang Luoli's aura was also rising, and her understanding of her own elemental spirit immortal body was also rising. Brother Xiaoyao, I saw some images. Jiang Luoli suddenly said in a daze with a blank face. What images? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Heaven and earth shattered, and all things fell into oblivion. Is this what the original master saw? Jiang Luoli looked confused. Jun Xiaoyao fell into deep thought. It seemed that Jiang Luoli's fortuitous encounter had other secrets behind it. Big brother Xiaoyao, I want to go into seclusion for a period of time, Jiang Luoli suddenly said. She was blessed with good fortune, and her heart was stirred. This was a good opportunity for her to cultivate. All right, take this branch of the world tree. It'll be helpful for your cultivation. Jun Xiaoyao took out another section of the tree of the world and gave it to Jiang Luoli. Jiang Luoli did not stand on ceremony. She also had the belief to become stronger. He couldn't let Jiang Xingyi bear the pressure of Jun Xiaoyao alone. She also had to take action. Her legs were short, but she was ambitious. Jiang Luoli returned to her heavenly abode and went into seclusion. All right, I'm going to start cultivating too. Jun Xiaoyao was still in no hurry to find Lingyan. He still had forbidden techniques that he had yet to cultivate. For example, the forbidden technique of the 6 annihilation kings, the 6 burials of the heavens. This was a forbidden technique that was said to be able to bury the entire immortal realm. Although it sounded a little exaggerated, but if 6 calamity-level immortals performed the 6 burials of the heavens together, they might really be able to bury half of the immortal realm. Of course, Jun Xiaoyao was only one person now. It was a little difficult for him to use a technique that could only be used by 6 people. However, he had unlimited qi and dermic powers. He also had a quasi-connate sacred body, chaotic physique, supreme divine blood, and other special physique. In the future, when his cultivation level increased, it would be easy for him to perform the 6 burials of the heavens on his own. In addition, there was also the 1 spirit into 3 pure ones. Jun Xiaoyao also wanted to start cultivating. If he could succeed in the end, Jun Xiaoyao would have 3 lives. Ordinary prodigies could only comprehend a little of these techniques even if they studied them for a few years. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, had to understand them thoroughly in a short time. He didn't have time to study them before, but now he could calm down and cultivate. In addition, after obtaining the quasi-connate sacred body, Tao Fetus, Jun Xiaoyao also planned to comprehend the remaining 2 sacred body avatars. After all, he had already returned to the immortal realm and didn't need to hide his sacred body abilities anymore. When the time came, the 6 sacred body avatars would all appear and form the 6 paths of reincarnation, which would also become one of Jun Xiaoyao's trump cards. In the blink of an eye, 3 months passed. Jun Xiaoyao had already studied the 1 qi into 3 pure ones and the 6 burials of the heavens in depth. Of course, these 2 trump cards were also very difficult to cultivate. They were far more complicated than the divine abilities that Jun Xiaoyao had cultivated before. Jun Xiaoyao's comprehension was monstrous. Although he could quickly comprehend and understand them, he still needed time to hone himself if he wanted to fully use them and use them freely. However, Jun Xiaoyao still had to go to the ultimate place of creation of Immortal Academy, the Void Sky World. Therefore, he couldn't waste all his time here. It's about time. It's time to find Lingyan. Jun Xiaoyao naturally didn't find Lingyan to reminisce about the past. Instead, he wanted to obtain Xian Ting's Immortal Tribulation sword art. Even though he wasn't like the reincarnated sword demon Yi Guchen, who was completely obsessed with the sword Dao. However, he already grasped 4 of the 5 great sword Dao divine art. The weapon he was used to using was also the everlasting sword core. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao wasn't a prodigy in the sword Dao. However, a casual sword art from him was enough to make countless prodigies who specialized in sword Dao feel ashamed and submit to him. That was why condensing sword laws was extremely necessary for Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao left the heavenly passage he was in. As soon as he appeared, he immediately sensed countless gazes secretly observing him from all directions. It couldn't be helped. Right now, Jun Xiaoyao was the most popular existence in immortal domain. If he didn't deliberately hide himself, he would be the center of attention no matter where he went. Among those gazes, there were gazes of admiration, as well as curiosity. Of course, there were also some enemy factions who wanted to monitor Jun Xiaoyao's every move. Jun Xiaoyao didn't mind. It was better to spread the word. The son of God of the Jun family was related to the young emperor of Xianting. When the time came, it might even cause conflict between Emperor Hua's immortal lineage and the other immortal lineages. Soon, Jun Xiaoyao arrived at the heavenly passage where Ling Yan was. A beautiful girl with 2 buns on her head looked at Jun Xiaoyao with a look of shock and awe. Young Master Jun, Sakura's voice was trembling. Oh, I remember you. I think you showed up on the desolate star of the ultimate ancient road. You were Ling Yan's servant girl, Jun Xiaoyao said to Sakura. Young Master Jun, you still remember someone as insignificant as Sakura. You really surprised Sakura. Sakura blushed. Even though she was from Xianting's side. However, she had to admit that when facing Jun Xiaoyao, it was really hard for ordinary girls not to blush. Ling Yan should be inside, right? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Sakura nodded slightly and said, I'll go and inform Her Highness. No need. She and I are old acquaintances. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly and walked in with his hands behind his back. Sakura didn't dare to stop him. Hiss, the son of God of the Jun family has entered Her Highness Ling Yan's cave. My goodness, could it be that some of the rumors are true? The first young emperor of the Xianting can't resist the charm of the son of God of the Jun family? TSK. Why do I feel like Gu Tizi is the most miserable one? His Fushi holy physique is the most compatible with Ling Yan's holy physique of Emperor Hua. But the current situation is interesting. Don't forget that the Xianting is hiding an ancient young emperor with shocking strength and a great background. If Her Highness doesn't listen, maybe that ancient young emperor will come out and take charge. Chapter 1147. Jun Xiaoyao's entry into Ling Yan's cave undoubtedly attracted a lot of attention. After all, the identities of these 2 people were too sensitive. One was the son of God of the Jun family, and the other was the young emperor of the Xianting. Now, everyone knew about the power struggle between the Jun family and the Xianting. Especially after the hidden bloodline returned to the main bloodline, the Jun family's strength was complete. The Xianting even regarded the Jun family as the biggest threat. The Jun family was likely to impact the Xianting's position as the overlord. However, at such a critical juncture, the leaders of the younger generation of these 2 forces had a vague relationship with each other. This undoubtedly made many people's hearts burn with the fire of gossip. In Ling Yan's cave, a subtle fragrance flowed. Except for the maid Sakura, almost no one had entered Ling Yan's cave. As for the opposite sex, there was even less. Even Gu Tizi had never entered. Jun Xiaoyao was the only one. Soon, Jun Xiaoyao came to the depths of the cave. He saw the beautiful figure sitting cross-legged on the crystal platform. She was beautiful, noble, and cold. Her skin was as delicate as mutton-fat jade, flowing with celestial light. Her facial features were exquisite, like a perfect creation carved by the hands of the heavens. Her neck was as white as a swan's, her arms were crystal clear, her waist was slender, and her legs were as white and flawless as ivory. All of this combined to form a picture of a peerless beauty. That kind of innate nobility and elegance was enough to produce a fatal poison to men. It was no wonder that peerless geniuses like Gu Tizi admired Ling Yan so much that they couldn't get her. If Jiang Shengyi was a pearl under the moon, Ling Yan was an incomparably precious gem that was shining brightly. Ling Yan, long time no see. Facing the stunning Xianting's young emperor, Jun Xiaoyao smiled with a calm expression. It was as if he was greeting an old friend whom he had not seen for a long time. Ling Yan's delicate body trembled slightly as she stared fixedly at Jun Xiaoyao with her jewel-like phoenix eyes. Back in the desolate border, it was indeed you, yet you didn't admit it. Ling Yan opened her mouth. Her voice was as clear and pleasant as a clear waterfall, but there was a trace of trembling in it. When she was training in desolate border, she sensed something, but didn't dare confirm it, fearing that she would end up disappointed. So what if I tell you? It'll just cause you more trouble, Jun Xiaoyao said. So you think that your life or death has nothing to do with me? Ling Yan suddenly became a little emotional and questioned him directly. Jun Xiaoyao said after a moment of silence. Isn't that so? Ling Yan clenched her slender hands tightly. She really wanted to bite the person in front of her. She and Jun Xiaoyao were originally enemies. Even when she first sent Fairy Yuan, it was only to monitor Jun Xiaoyao and gather information. After that, in the Black Abyss, she and Jun Xiaoyao experienced 100 lifetimes of love, and Jun Xiaoyao even left a mark on her thigh. At that time, she was very ashamed and resentful and swore to take revenge on Jun Xiaoyao. Then, in the world of the Ruins of God, she and Jun Xiaoyao were assigned to the same team. In the face of that terrifying divine obsession, Jun Xiaoyao stood in front of her. That was the first time Ling Yan felt warmth that she could rely on. Then, in that valley, the lover's flower bloomed. One day of the lover's flower, 1,000 years of lovesickness. It was only then that she realized that her feelings toward Jun Xiaoyao had subtly changed without her noticing. She even felt jealous in her heart. She was jealous of the relationship between Fairy Yuan and Jun Xiaoyao. Then, Fairy Yuan sacrificed herself, and her soul merged with Ling Yan. She didn't know who she was anymore. However, when she saw Jun Xiaoyao fall, she felt as if a large piece of her heart had been dug out, and it was empty. Later, during the war between the two worlds, when she saw Jun Xiaoyao appear again, what surged in her heart was heartfelt joy. This was not an emotion that she should have felt. As the young emperor of the Xian Ting, Jun Xiaoyao's existence was an invisible threat to the entire Xian Ting. Therefore, Ling Yan was at a loss. When Jun Xiaoyao came to the Jiutian Immortal Academy, she did not appear because she did not know how to face him. When she heard Sakura say that Jun Xiaoyao had been with Jiang Loli all this time, she also had a complicated feeling in her heart. It was indescribably complicated. So, you're just here to see me? Ling Yuan took a deep breath and calmed the emotions in her heart. Of course not. I came here with a purpose. Jun Xiaoyao was very calm. Ling Yan was silent, but a faint trace of disappointment flashed in her eyes. What am I thinking? In his eyes, I'm an enemy and an opponent. Ling Yan mocked herself in her heart. I want to take a look at the Xian Ting's Immortal Tribulation Sword Art, Jun Xiaoyao said indifferently. Immortal Tribulation Sword Art? Ling Yan was slightly taken aback. Although the Immortal Tribulation Sword Art was not a supreme grand theurgy, it was still one of the 5 great theurgies of the Sword Dao. As a member of the Jun family, Jun Xiaoyao actually asked Ling Yan, the young emperor of the Xian Ting, for the Immortal Tribulation Sword Art so directly. If others knew about this, they would definitely think that Jun Xiaoyao was doing something useless. This was ridiculous. The Xian Ting and the Jun family were competitors. As the young emperor of the Xian Ting, how could Ling Yan do something to help the enemy? You should know what you're talking about, right? Ling Yan said. Of course I know. If it were you, would you give your theurgy to someone from the enemy camp? I won't, Jun Xiaoyao said before changing the subject and continuing to speak. But it's useful to me. You should know your identity, and you should also know my position, Ling Yan said. That's true, but Jun Xiaoyao suddenly walked toward Ling Yan. Finally, he stood 3 feet in front of her. Ling Yuan's exquisite face, which was as white as snow, immediately blushed. I just want to know who you are. Jun Xiaoyao looked seriously into Ling Yan's eyes. What do you mean? Am I not me? Ling Yan's eyelashes fluttered, and she lowered her gaze, avoiding Jun Xiaoyao's gaze. In fact, she should push Jun Xiaoyao away at this moment. But she couldn't do it. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were deep as he said, "Do you still remember the girl who danced for me under the starry sky?" Previously, when they parted, Fairy Yuan had danced for Jun Xiaoyao under the starry sky. A graceful dance of the goddess of Luo had captivated all living beings. It had also left a deep impression on Jun Xiaoyao. He just wanted to know how deeply Ling Yan had been influenced by Fairy Yuan. Perhaps their souls had already fused into one. Hearing Jun Xiaoyao's words, Ling Yan's heart trembled. She finally mustered up her courage and looked at Jun Xiaoyao. There seemed to be some kind of determination in her sparkling eyes. "Jun Xiaoyao, have you ever thought that maybe the Xian Ting and the Jun family don't have to be on opposite sides? I am the young emperor of the Xian Ting, and you are the son of God of the Jun family. If we join forces, we may be able to change the will of the two forces." "What do you mean?" Jun Xiaoyao looked at Ling Yan. Ling Yan took a deep breath, and her plump chest rose and fell like a fruit. She finally mustered up the courage to speak. "If the Jun family and the Xian Ting make peace, and even form an alliance, with your talent, you may be able to become the master of the Xian Ting in the future, and I will be the empress. The two of us can dominate the entire immortal realm." Chapter 1148. Ling Yuan's idea could be said to be shocking. If the Supreme Xian Ting and the Jun family were to join forces, it was definitely enough to suppress the entire Nine Heavens immortal realm. Even if there were some factions under the surface, such as the Heaven Clan, it was impossible for them to completely overthrow the Xian Ting and the Jun family. This was indeed an extremely crazy idea. But more importantly, Ling Yan said that Jun Xiaoyao could become the ruler of the Xian Ting in the future. And she would be the queen. It was clear what she meant. She almost told Jun Xiaoyao that she wanted to be his wife. Of course, with Ling Yan's arrogant personality, there was no way she would say something like that. However, Jun Xiaoyao shook his head and chuckled. "Ling Yan, you're so silly that you're adorable." "Jun Xiaoyao, you." Ling Yan bit her lips. She was the princess of the Xian Ting, yet she was called silly. It was the first time. However, the flirtatious tone made Ling Yan blush. Jun Xiaoyao continued, "There can't be two tigers on the same mountain unless one is male and the other is female. Xian Ting, are you willing to be the female tiger?" The Jun family had always been domineering. Even if they were to join forces, they would still be in the position of absolute leader. Would the Supreme Xian Ting, who used to be the ruler of the Nine Heavens immortal realm, be willing to back down? Obviously not. Besides, the 9 immortal lineages of the Xian Ting were not necessarily united. Even if the immortal lineage of the Empress of Hua, where Ling Yan was willing, would the immortal lineage of Fuxi, where Gu Tizi was from, be willing? Therefore, Ling Yuan's idea could only be said to be naive. However, Jun Xiaoyao was also certain. Fairy Yuan's soul did affect Ling Yan. Besides, Ling Yan's feelings toward Jun Xiaoyao had changed after experiencing the 100 lives of love. Therefore, Ling Yan should not become his enemy. Jun Xiaoyao also didn't want to become enemies with Ling Yan. After all, Fairy Maiden Yuan's soul continued to exist in her body as Ling Yan. Sure enough, was I too naive? Ling Yan revealed a somewhat bitter smile. Could it be that the heavens wanted her and Jun Xiaoyao to be sandwiched between two opposing forces? That's not necessarily true. Who knows what will happen in the future? Maybe in the future, I'll be strong enough to make Xian Ting bow to me. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. Looking at Jun Xiaoyao's handsome smile, Ling Yan was momentarily stunned. Perhaps Jun Xiaoyao's confidence was what attracted her as well. After all, how many people dared to say that they could make Xian Ting bow down to them? So, the immortal tribulation sword art. Jun Xiaoyao changed the topic. Ling Yan clenched her jade-like hands and then sighed. She took out a jade slip from her spatial Dharma artifact. "This is what you wanted," Ling Yan said. Jun Xiaoyao smiled slightly, not surprised. He took the jade slip and roughly scanned it with his divine will. It was indeed the immortal tribulation sword art. Thank you. Jun Xiaoyao put away the jade slip. Then, out of politeness, he gently hugged Ling Yan. Ling Yan's delicate body tensed up, and her mind instantly went blank, as if her thoughts were broken. Sensing the warmth in Jun Xiaoyao's arms, Ling Yan finally realized that she was being hugged. A soul-deep tremor and joy surged out. It was not only her joy. It was also Fairy Maiden Yuan's joy. Jun Xiaoyao quickly released her. Ling Yan felt a wave of emptiness in her heart again. I won't take advantage of you. You can take this spring of life. Jun Xiaoyao also took out some spring of life. Ling Yan accepted it in a daze, still reminiscing about that shallow hug. All right, it's time for me to leave. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly and turned to leave. Wait. Ling Yan subconsciously called out to Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao didn't understand. Didn't you ask me if I still remember that dance? Ling Yan said faintly. Jun Xiaoyao looked at Ling Yan. Ling Yan didn't say anything, but suddenly jumped up and began to dance. Ling Yan was wearing a snow-white glazed dress, and her dance was even more alluring. Like an elf under the moon, like an immortal banished to the moon. She was as graceful as a swan, like a swimming dragon. She was like a lotus emitting green wave. She was ethereal and agile, making people forget to eat. It was the goddess Luo's graceful dance. Jun Xiaoyao was a little surprised too, but he still stood in place and enjoyed the dance. After all, no one in the 9 heavens immortal realm was qualified enough to make Ling Yan dance alone. He had to admit that as a goddess, Ling Yan's dance was enough to amaze everyone. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flickered. He was not Lu Xiaohui. He would not pretend to be a gentleman when it was time to enjoy the dance. Ling Yan blushed slightly after the dance. Perhaps it was because she was tired, or because she was dancing for Jun Xiaoyao. Not bad, I didn't expect Lady Empress's dance to be so stunning too, Jun Xiaoyao said. Ling Yan was a little embarrassed after being complimented by Jun Xiaoyao. That being said, she would not show it on her face. However, at this moment, Ru Ying's voice came from outside the cave. Lady Empress, someone is coming. Ling Yan frowned. The atmosphere had finally calmed down, yet someone had to interrupt them. Don't tell me it's Gu Tizi. Tell him I'm not going to see him, Ling Yan said coldly. Gu Tizi had been harassing her before, asking her what her attitude toward Jun Xiaoyao was. Ling Yan did not even bother to see Gu Tizi. It's Gu Tizi, but he's not the only one. There are 3 others who call themselves the 18 Horsemen of Yenyun. They seem to be the followers of the ancient young emperor. Ling Yuan was a little surprised when she heard this, and then she frowned slightly. An obscure glint flashed in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. The ancient young emperor of the Xian Ting, interesting. Jun Xiaoyao chuckled. I'll go take a look, Ling Yan said. She did not care about the 13 horsemen of Yenyun. However, the ancient young emperor of the Xian Ting was someone that even she had to treat with caution. I'll go with you. Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward. Ling Yuan was silent and did not say anything. However, there was an inexplicable sense of security in his heart. It was as if she had someone to rely on. All right then, thank you, Ling Yan said awkwardly. With her personality, it was indeed not easy for her to say a word of thanks. Jun Xiaoyao only smiled. At this moment, outside the grotto heaven, 4 figures stood there. One of them was wearing an 8-trigram robe. He had handsome features and a handsome figure. It was Gu Tizi. The other 3 were 2 men and 1 woman. They wore armor of different colors. Their auras were extremely powerful, and their expressions were cold and arrogant. They were all riding on ferocious beasts such as the blue-eyed golden eagle and the hornless dragon. Many immortal academy prodigies were watching the show. Are they the prodigies of the 18 horsemen of Yenyun? I heard that they were the heroes of the same era as the mysterious ancient young emperor of the Xian Ting. All of them were extremely powerful. In the end, they were defeated by the young emperor of the Xian Ting and became his followers. They were sealed together. In terms of talent and strength, the 18 horsemen of Yenyun are definitely more outstanding than some seedlings. Otherwise, they would not have become the followers of the ancient young emperor. What are they doing here? It seems like it has something to do with the son of God of the Jun family. Maybe they think that Ling Yan is too close to the son of God of the Jun family. Tsk, this is interesting. An ancient young emperor and a modern young emperor. Are they going to fight for power? Just as everyone was whispering to each other, a voice suddenly rang out. 2 figures appeared in the grotto heaven. Ling Yan's expression was as cold as ice. In front of Jun Xiaoyao, she was like an ordinary girl. However, in front of others, she was the noble princess of an immortal lineage, the honorable young emperor. How dare you make a fuss in front of my grotto heaven? Do you not take my identity as a young emperor seriously? Ling Yan scolded coldly. She was as domineering as a queen. Chapter 1149. Ling Yan was tall and slender. Her crystal-like eyes were filled with coldness and indifference. Her aura was the epitome of the Xian Ting's young empress. When they saw Jun Xiaoyao and Ling Yan walking out together, many of the onlooking sky prides had a strange look in their eyes. Hiss, could it be that the rumors are true? Is the princess and the son of God of the Jun family really together? They don't look like an old couple, but they're not far off. I'm so envious of the son of God of the Jun family. He has the 2 beauties of the Jiang family by his side, and he can still flirt with the princess. Tsk, the son of God is handsome and powerful. His family background is unparalleled. He has the confidence and qualifications. Look at yourself in the mirror. Do you think you have the same? Many of the disciples of the Immortal Academy whispered to each other with envious expressions. Gu Tizi's eyes were cold when he saw this scene. Although he had already guessed it, he was still extremely unhappy when he saw it with his own eyes. He had pursued Ling Yan for so long, but Ling Yan didn't show any interest in him. On the contrary, she showed her feelings for Jun Xiaoyao, who was in the enemy camp. This made Gu Tizi's admiration gradually turn into resentment and hatred. At this moment, the man riding the dragon, old 16 of the 18 horsemen of Yenyun, spoke up. The princess is the current young empress of the Xian Ting. We naturally wouldn't dare to disrespect her. Although 16th brother said so, his tone was indifferent and arrogant. Ling Yan's eyes were even colder. So, none of you will get down from your mounts? Oh, sorry. We were rude. Old 16 got down from the dragon with a mocking smile. The other 2 also got down from their mounts slowly. Seeing this scene, the disciples of the Immortal Academy were all surprised. The 18 horsemen of Yen Yun don't seem to be giving face to the young empress of Ling Yan. Of course. Their master is the most mysterious and honorable ancient young emperor of Xian Ting. Compared to that person, even Ling Yan, the current young emperor, is inferior in status. The 16th brother and the other 2 heard the words of the people around them and just smiled. Ling Yan turned to look at Gu Tizi with a hint of disgust in his eyes. In the beginning, she did not think much of Gu Tizi. However, Gu Tizi was still a peerless figure. And now, the more Ling Yan looked at Gu Tizi, the more he looked like a clown. Not to mention Jun Xiaoyao. He was not even qualified to be compared to Jun Xiaoyao. Did you bring them here? Ling Yan looked at Gu Tizi with an unprecedentedly cold gaze. There was even more disgust than when he looked at a stranger. Ling Yan, you misunderstood. I'm just here to watch the show. Ling Yan's gaze made Gu Tizi even more unhappy. However, on the surface, he still smiled faintly and showed his elegance. Jun Xiaoyao only watched from the side and did not say anything. In fact, the current Gu Tizi was no different from a clown to him. It was quite interesting to see him jump up and down. Ling Yan snorted at Gu Tizi's words. Gu Tizi knew that Jun Xiaoyao came to find her, so he did this. Moreover, Gu Tizi knew that Ling Yan would not pay attention to him if he came alone. Therefore, he came with 3 of the 18 horsemen of Yen Yun. So why did you come to my cave abode and make a scene? Ling Yan said impatiently. Old 16 said calmly, no reason. I just feel that as the current young empress of the Xianting, your highness should have the attitude of a young empress. Young Empress Ling Yan should know who she should meet and who she should not meet. In other words, Ling Yan should not meet Jun Xiaoyao at all. Hearing this, Ling Yuan felt an inexplicable surge of anger in her heart. She said coldly, as the young empress of the Xianting, I can meet whoever I want. Do I need to listen to your orders? Even if it was not for Jun Xiaoyao, Old 16's attitude made Ling Yan angry. The other disciples of the Immortal Academy also shook their heads secretly. The 18 horsemen of Yen Yun were indeed a little too much. Although their master was the mysterious young empress of the ancient era. As the current young empress, Ling Yan's status was not low either. That's right. What right do you have to question young Empress Ling Yan? At this moment, a voice that was as clear as a lark's rang out from the crowd. A pretty girl in a silk dress with hundreds of flowers appeared. Her face was fair, and her bright eyes were bright and dazzling. Her hair was soft and silky, and her reflection could be seen. She was Wei Qianqian, the successor of the Elite Guard Immortal System, one of the 9 great immortal systems. The other successors with her were Tsang Li of Tsang-Jie Immortal System, Yao Qing of Shenong Immortal System, and Xing Lu of Xingtian Immortal System. However, they were all killed by Jun Xiaoyao when they were training in the desolate borderland. At that time, Wei Qianqian did not participate in the attack, so she was unharmed. Moreover, the Elite Guard Immortal System followed Empress Hua's lead. Therefore, Wei Qianqian was naturally on Ling Yan's side. Regardless of whether we have the right or not, did we say anything wrong? Old 16 said coldly. A mere successor of an immortal system was not enough to make him waver. In his mind, only their master, the ancient young empress, was the most honorable and extraordinary existence in all of Xianting. The other immortal systems, be it their successors or seedlings, or even Ling Yan, the young empress, could not compare to their master. If I say no, what will you do? Attack me? Ling Yan said coldly. That was her personality. If anyone dared to be forceful against her, she would be even more forceful. Of course, Jun Xiaoyao was an exception. Of course not. After all, your highness is the current young empress. We are just reminding you to be mindful of your status, Old 16 said. At this moment, Ling Yuan's expression was already very cold. The 16th elder turned to look at Jun Xiaoyao and said, Divine child of the Jun family, you relied on external forces to kill the ultimate catastrophe. You can say that you did your part for the mystic region. However, you should keep your distance from young Empress Ling Yan. After all, who knows if young Empress Ling Yan will be subdued by my master in the future. Once these words were spoken, the entire world fell silent. Everyone's face was filled with astonishment. The 18 steeds of Yen Yun dared to say such a thing. They had offended both Jun Xiaoyao and Ling Yan. Gu Tizi's expression changed slightly. Could it be that the ancient young empress really wanted to subdue Ling Yan? But then he thought about it. Even if Ling Yan was subdued by the ancient young empress, it would still be better than being subdued by Jun Xiaoyao. You! Ling Yan was so angry that her face turned white and her eyes trembled. If the 18 steeds of Yen Yun didn't have the support of the ancient young empress, she would definitely kill them with one slap. Just as Ling Yan was trembling with anger. However, a warm palm rested on her shoulder. Ling Yan turned around and saw Jun Xiaoyao with a slight smile on his face. That smile was familiar and a little dangerous. It was a smile that could kill. Ling Yan's heart calmed down inexplicably. She felt a sense of warmth. Jun Xiaoyao looked at old 16 and the others with a faint smile on his face. Are you teaching me how to do things? Old 16 frowned when he sensed a dangerous aura. However, the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy strictly forbade infighting. Moreover, they were the ancient young empress's followers. Therefore, he thought that Jun Xiaoyao wouldn't do anything rash. I'm not teaching you how to do things. I just want you to keep your distance from young Empress Lingyan. As soon as old 16 finished speaking, they were horrified to see a large hand that covered the sky and was shrouded in primal chaos chi pressing down on them. Jun Xiaoyao, how dare you? Chapter 1150. No one would have thought that Jun Xiaoyao would attack them directly. It was simple, direct, clean, and straightforward. He didn't hesitate at all. He suppressed them as he wished. He killed them as he wished. He didn't care at all. He didn't care that this was the Nine Heavens Immortal Academy, a place where killing was strictly forbidden. Jun Xiaoyao casually pressed down with his palm. It was as if the sky had collapsed. Jun Xiaoyao, don't underestimate us. The 16th brother and the other two shouted. As the followers of the ancient Xian Ting's young emperor, they were all very powerful. They were the most outstanding people of their time. The way Jun Xiaoyao was acting made it seem as if he was suppressing ants. This feeling of contempt made them feel humiliated. Jun Xiaoyao didn't say anything. He didn't want to waste time talking to these people. The palm of laws surrounded by chaotic mist pressed down. It was as if the sky had collapsed. The 16th brother, the other two, the 17th brother, and the 18th brother roared in unison. Even the beasts they were riding also roared and unleashed their strength. Their mounts alone were far more powerful than some of the sky prides. Bang! After the palm hit them, the three of them were sent flying while vomiting blood. Their eyes were filled with shock. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, had a look of surprise in his eyes. To be able to take a casual strike from me, not bad. I've underestimated you. Jun Xiaoyao was genuinely surprised, and he was not faking it. He was used to killing his opponents with a single palm. The 18 steeds of Yenyun were the followers of the ancient young emperor. He was indeed surprised that they could take his palm. Although this palm strike was the most ordinary and unremarkable palm strike, it was still extremely powerful. It was enough to prove that the 18 steeds of Yenyun were not weak. Then their master, the ancient young emperor, should really be something. Jun Xiaoyao, you, the 16th brother and the other two were vomiting blood. A casual palm hit had made them so embarrassed. He even said that he had underestimated them. It was as if it was an honor to be able to take his palm. To them, this was tantamount to double the humiliation. If that's the case, Jun Xiaoyao clenched his hand into a fist. Suddenly, an extremely terrifying power surged. Jun Xiaoyao used a fist technique that he hadn't used for a long time. With a punch, the power of reincarnation surged and shattered the heavens. 6 reincarnation vortexes, which were like 6 worlds, shot out with Jun Xiaoyao's fist. It was the 6 paths of reincarnation fist. This was a supreme fist technique. Because he had always been in the other side, he had never used this fist technique before. Now that he was back in the immortal realm, Jun Xiaoyao was naturally able to use those secret techniques he had learned in the past without any scruples. Boom! A single punch was enough to shake the heavens and earth. Countless runes appeared in the void. Those were the defensive runes carved on the entire immortal island. Jun Xiaoyao's punch had activated the immortal island's defense. It was clear how powerful that punch was. Jun Xiaoyao, don't forget that this is the Immortal Academy. We're the young emperor's followers. Do you really dare to be so ruthless? The 16th brother roared and also took out his trump card. The 3 of them unleashed their divine abilities. Divine light shone brightly, and their auras were so powerful that many outlawed sky pride's eyelids twitched. Unfortunately, they were facing an invincible existence among the younger generation. It was only a single punch. Moreover, it was not the complete 6 paths of reincarnation fist. The 3 of them were instantly crushed. Blood splattered everywhere. The 3 mounts they were riding exploded at the same time. Their bodies and souls were destroyed. The 3 primordial spirits were terrified and wanted to flee far away. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head and used his fingers as a sword. Dazzling immortal light appeared at his fingertips, pulsing in and out. Then, he pointed his finger. Hundreds of flying immortal lights appeared and formed many immortal swords. They slashed at the 3 primordial spirits. How is this possible? The immortal tribulation sword art? Ling Yan was stunned. He took a deep breath. Jun Xiaoyao had only scanned the immortal tribulation sword art once with his divine telekinesis before. How could he use it just like that? Although he had not fully mastered it, Ling Yan was very surprised that he could use the immortal tribulation sword art. However, this was not a big deal to Jun Xiaoyao. Putting aside his monstrous talent, he also had the deduction ability of the Battle God Catalog and the Battle Sacred Technique. It was normal for him to be able to use it directly. The 3 primordial spirits were destroyed by the immortal tribulation sword light. 3 of the 18 steeds of Yan Yun died just like that. They died so easily. Not bad. Jun Xiaoyao nodded in satisfaction. Jun Xiaoyao, you've gone too far. Gu Tizi's expression was a little ugly. He was the one who brought them here. Now that they were dead, there was a possibility that he would be blamed. Gu Tizi, I haven't settled the score with you. Why don't you just be a clown? Jun Xiaoyao took a step forward and the space fluctuated. He appeared in front of Gu Tizi as if he had teleported. Gu Tizi reacted quickly. An 8 trigrams array appeared in front of him. That was despite the fact that Jun Xiaoyao had been the one to beat him time and time again. He was the successor of the Fuxi celestial legacy after all, and he also had the Fuxi sacred body. He was not weak. He was once the strongest successor of the Xian Ting with Ling Yan. Even so, he was still weak in front of Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao pointed his finger and used the heaven slashing art, surrounded by chaotic sword light. The 8 trigrams array was directly cut apart. Divine chains of order rushed out from between Jun Xiaoyao's brows again, turning into the primitive Emperor Dao's sword and slashing out again. Gu Tizi activated the power of the Fuxi sacred body again. Dense trigrams appeared in the void, forming a wall of magical power and blocking the sword. However, Jun Xiaoyao took the opportunity to break Gu Tizi's defense with a punch. Then, he slapped out. Slap. A loud slap sent Gu Tizi flying. He coughed up blood and retreated. Jun Xiaoyao, he was slapped in the face in public, and in front of Ling Yan. This made Gu Tizi furious. His eyes were like a poisonous snake that was about to devour its prey. Wow, such a face slapping. As expected of the son of God of the Jun family. Wei Qianqian was also shocked. What's going on here? At this moment a group of people came from afar. The one in the lead was the law-enforcing elder of the Immortal Academy. He was an expert of the divine creation realm. When he saw Jun Xiaoyao, the corner of his eyes twitched slightly. It is indeed this great Buddha. The law-enforcing elder thought to himself. His expression was a little unnatural. Gu Tizi's expression was gloomy. He glanced at Jun Xiaoyao and turned to the law-enforcing elder. Jun Xiaoyao ignored the rules of the Immortal Academy and killed 3 of the ancient young emperor's followers. How should we deal with him? This. The law-enforcing elder hesitated. However, he was cursing Gu Tizi in his heart. Wasn't this deliberately making things difficult for him? What was Jun Xiaoyao's identity? He was the savior of the immortal realm, a hero revered by millions of creatures. He came to the 9 Heavens Immortal Academy because the Immortal Academy Great Elder begged him, even using the ultimate land of creation as a condition. Cough. Young Master Jun, what you are doing is wrong. The law-enforcing elder coughed dryly and looked at Jun Xiaoyao with a slight frown. Oh! Jun Xiaoyao stood with his hands behind his back and looked at the law-enforcing elder. The surrounding disciples of the Immortal Academy also nodded inwardly. As expected of the law-enforcing elder who was impartial and strict. His incorruptible and selfless attitude was well known throughout Immortal Academy. However, in the next moment, the law-enforcing elder coughed and said, "Young Master Jun, aren't you tired of taking action personally? Next time, if something like this happens, just let this old man come. I want to see which blind person dares to disturb young master," the law-enforcing elder said righteously. The surrounding people were dumbfounded. Chapter 1151. Is this still the impartial law enforcement elder? Many Immortal Academy disciples were stunned. Many of them had been taught a lesson by the enforcement elder before. Even when facing the pride of an undying power, the eldest son of an ancient family, or even the pride of the Xian Ting, the enforcement elder was always fair and impartial, not showing any favoritism. That was why, while many Immortal Academy disciples feared the enforcement elder, they also admired him greatly. But now, looking at this amiable and even somewhat fawning law enforcement elder, he felt that it was strange. Everyone felt that the enforcement elder's reputation had collapsed. Enforcement elder is too courteous. This Jun took action without permission and caused trouble for Immortal Academy. Jun Xiaoyao cupped his hands and expressed his apology. One shouldn't hit a smiling person. Since the enforcement elder already had such an attitude, Jun Xiaoyao naturally had to return the favor. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao's attitude, the enforcement elder's expression became even more amiable. In fact, he had his reasons for doing this. If the true ancient young emperor appeared and confronted Jun Xiaoyao, the enforcement elder would be in a dilemma. The law enforcement elder was in a dilemma and didn't know what to do. However, if it was just the young emperor's followers, the 18 steeds of Yenyun, their status and importance couldn't be compared to Jun Xiaoyao's at all. Let me ask you, would you offend a true dragon for a few ants? It was to the extent where even if the true ancient young emperor appeared, his status might not be able to surpass Jun Xiaoyao's. That was why there was nothing wrong with the enforcement elder's favoritism. Son of God, don't worry. This time, it was because they took the initiative to provoke you that brought about this disaster. Even the Xian Ting can't find any reason or excuse. I will deal with this matter later, the enforcement elder said with a smile. Then I'll have to trouble Elder. If Elder is free in the future, you can visit the Jun family. Jun Xiaoyao also said with a smile. Haha, that would naturally be my honor. The enforcement elder was even more so all smiles. To be able to establish good karma with Immortal Domain's most prosperous family was naturally extremely good. Then, the enforcement elder tidied up the situation a bit, having people clean up the scene, and then left. All of Immortal Academy's disciples saw this scene. They finally understood what was called a privileged class. It turned out that some people did not need to follow the rules. Things like rules were only created by the superior to the inferior, and the strong to the weak. Jun Xiaoyao's status could not be restricted by any rules. Gu Tizi looked at Jun Xiaoyao, feeling indignant. Even though he also knew that the chances of Immortal Academy punishing Jun Xiaoyao were close to zero. However, he never expected that Immortal Academy would actually lick Jun Xiaoyao's boots like this. It really was because Jun Xiaoyao was wiping out the foreign disaster, establishing too great of a contribution. Immortal Academy could only hold him in the palm of their hands. Jun Xiaoyao also looked at Gu Tizi. He didn't attack again. He had already killed 3 of the 18 cavalrymen of Yenyun. If he killed Gu Tizi now, then it would be the same as slapping Immortal Academy's face. In any case, Gu Tizi was just a clown in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. Whenever it was convenient, he could just kill him. Gu Tizi turned to Ling Yan and said with an extremely cold tone, Ling Yan, you've always avoided talking about Jun Xiaoyao. Was that really the case? Gu Tizi had already expected this. However, when he thought about how Ling Yan really did have special feelings for Jun Xiaoyao, he still felt resentment in his heart. Ling Yuan's peerlessly beautiful face was also very cold. Now, even without Jun Xiaoyao, she only felt a deep hatred for Gu Tizi. Seeing Ling Yan's expression, Gu Tizi said coldly, "Don't forget, I was the one who gave you the position of young emperor." Ling Yan's expression was also cold. "Even without you, I can take the position of young emperor with my own strength." "Good, very good. Ling Yan, is your Empress Wa's immortal lineage thinking of betraying my Xianting?" Gu Tizi was so angry that he laughed. Since there was already no hope, then he might as well shed all pretense of cordiality. When Ling Yuan heard this, she was so angry that her teeth itched. Gu Tizi actually wanted to drag the entire Empress Wa's immortal lineage down with him. One could imagine how much pressure Empress Wa's immortal lineage would exert on her. After all, her identity was still too sensitive. At this time, Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward and said coldly, "Still making noise here. Do you really think I won't make a move?" Gu Tizi glanced at Jun Xiaoyao with fear. Then, he took a deep look at Ling Yuan. "Ling Yan, I hope your position as young emperor will be stable. Who knows who will be the true leader of the Xianting in the future?" Gu Tizi left with a flick of his sleeve. Ling Yan's expression was a little ugly. She naturally knew what Gu Tizi meant. That ancient young emperor had a lofty status, perhaps even higher than hers. At that time, what position would she be in? Submit to the ancient young emperor? Obviously not. Ling Yuan was a prideful woman. It was impossible for her to submit to others. Therefore, there would be no lack of conflict and turmoil in the future. When that time came, there would be another bloody struggle for power. This gave Ling Yan a headache. She found it troublesome. "Don't worry, Sister Ling Yan. The elite guard lineage will always be on your side." Wei Qianshan stepped forward, as playful and beautiful as a skylark. Thank you for your support." Ling Yan nodded slightly. Currently, the leaders of the Xianting were Fuxi and Empress Wa. The other lineages were also strong, but it would be troublesome to compete for the leadership position. The elite guard lineage had always followed Empress Wa's lead. Songjia lineage, on the other hand, leaned toward Fuxi's lineage. As for the other lineages, some remained neutral, some had their own ambitions, and some had unclear intentions. There was only one thing that Ling Yan was most worried about. That ancient young emperor should be from Fuxi's lineage. Is this the son of God of the Jun family? This isn't our first time meeting, is it? Wei Qianshan turned to Jun Xiaoyao, her big eyes twinkling like stars. "That's right. I saw you at Gu Tizi and Fairy Yuan's wedding." Jun Xiaoyao said flatly. TSK, Gu Tizi was really pitiful then. Of course, he's still pitiful now. Wei Qianshan stuck out her tongue, gloating. "I killed Song Li and the others when I was training in the desolate borderland. Don't you mind?" Jun Xiaoyao suddenly asked. Wei Qianshan had an indifferent expression. "What does that have to do with me? Moreover, Song Li is from Songjia lineage. They are on Fuxi's side." Wei Qianshan said. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes twinkled. It seemed that the internal strife within the Xianting was still intense. This was the difference between a faction and a clan. Although some clans might have internal strife, there was still a layer of bloodline within. For a behemoth like the Supreme Xianting, the internal power structure was complicated. On the surface, it looked like an absolute overlord. However, there were already all kinds of internal strife and hidden dangers. Compared to the Xianting, the Jun family was harmonious, friendly, and united to the extreme. This was the advantage that the Jun family had. A dark glint flickered in his eyes as he thought of that. Is it time to completely split the Xianting? Jun Xiaoyao muttered in his heart, as if he had another idea and plan. In fact, Jun Xiaoyao's strongest point was not his monstrous talent, nor was it his powerful strength. It was his schemes and wisdom that could surpass even the heavens. With Jun Xiaoyao around, It was no different from a fantasy for that ancient young emperor to stand out and unite the Xian Ting. Chapter 1152. The storm had finally come to an end. The crowd also gradually dispersed. Jun Xiaoyao's strength was undoubtedly deeply rooted in people's hearts. He even killed the ancient young emperor's follower without batting an eye. Even the law-enforcing elder turned a blind eye to it. Everyone understood that the Immortal Academy was like Jun Xiaoyao's backyard. He could still do whatever he wanted. All right, I've obtained the Immortal Tribulation Sword Art. I should return to my cave to cultivate. Jun Xiaoyao looked at Ling Yan and noticed that she was a little absent-minded. What's wrong? Jun Xiaoyao asked. That ancient young emperor should be from the Fuxi immortal lineage. Ling Yan felt a headache coming on. It would be fine if he was from other immortal lineage. But he was from the Fuxi immortal lineage. In the entire Xian Ting, the Fuxi immortal lineage could be said to be the most radical faction. It was also the faction with the deepest enmity toward the Jun family. After all, when Jun Xiaoyao died in the immortal ruins, the Jun family had once slapped them in the face. The Fuxi immortal lineage's enmity toward the Jun family was definitely much deeper than the Empress Hua immortal lineage. So it's because of this. It seems that because of me, you and the ancient young emperor had a conflict. If that's the case, then I won't come to you in the future and won't cause you any more trouble, Jun Xiaoyao said casually. No. It's not like that, Ling Yan hurriedly retorted, her jade-like hand subconsciously grabbing the corner of Jun Xiaoyao's clothes. Jun Xiaoyao glanced at her. Ling Yan's cheeks were flushed red, and she withdrew her hand as if she had been electrocuted. The great Xian Ting young emperor was grabbing the corner of someone's clothes like a little girl. What was this? No, you misunderstood. Ling Yan's full breasts undulated. Don't worry, if you have any trouble in the future, you can come to me. I haven't met an opponent that interested me in a long time. Jun Xiaoyao seemed very indifferent toward the ancient young emperor. Ling Yan was also silent. If she really went to Jun Xiaoyao for help, she would be targeted by the other immortal orthodoxies. Oh right, I forgot to give you something. After pondering for a moment, Jun Xiaoyao took out another item from his spatial magical tool. It seemed to be made of snow-white silk, and there was a layer of hazy seven-colored radiance on it. This is... Ling Yan was stunned. This is a pair of stockings made from the silk of the seven-colored heavenly silkworm. Don't underestimate it. It's a top-notch supreme artifact, Jun Xiaoyao said. He had naturally seen Princess Divine Silkworm at the Jade Pool. Princess Divine Silkworm raised a rainbow heaven silkworm. Therefore, Jun Xiaoyao asked for some seven-colored heavenly silkworm silk from her. Then, he asked the blacksmiths in the clan to refine this pair of stockings. The reason why he did this was naturally to test Ling Yan. After all, in the past, Fairy Yuan loved to wear white silk. Ling Yan's face turned slightly red. She felt that there was something wrong with giving this thing. But she still took it. The snow-white stockings were incomparably soft. Under the illumination of the light, they reflected a seven-colored halo. It was truly beautiful. Aren't you going to try it on? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Ling Yan bit her red lips slightly, but she still put it on in front of Jun Xiaoyao. The silk stockings with a hazy rainbow-colored halo reflected the smooth and creamy skin of her legs. In addition, Ling Yan's figure was originally that of the tall and slender type. Her jade-like legs wrapped in stockings were especially slender and straight. One word. Wonderful. After putting it on, Ling Yan wore a snow-colored glazed dress. The hem of the dress was cut open, revealing the perfect lines of her long legs in stockings. It also slightly reflected a seven-colored halo. It was truly wonderful. There was an extreme temptation. It was as if one couldn't help but want to touch it. Jun Xiaoyao felt that if he really did this, Ling Yan shouldn't refuse. But he obviously wouldn't be so shameless. It was enough to admire it with the eyes of a gentleman. Jun Xiaoyao never denied that he was an old pervert. No, he wasn't old. You're still looking? Ling Yen glanced to the side. She looked both cold and inexplicably proud and cute. It suits you very well. Goodbye. Jun Xiaoyao turned around and was about to leave. You're doing this for her, Ling Yen suddenly said. She was naturally referring to fairy maiden Yuan. Jun Xiaoyao stopped in his tracks. Without looking back, he said, Is there a difference? After saying that, Jun Xiaoyao left. Ling Yen clenched her jade-like hands slightly. Was there a difference? Of course there was. Fairy Yuan was Fairy Yuan and Ling Yen was Ling Yen. In the past, it was only Fairy Yuan who loved Jun Xiaoyao deeply. But now even she, with a long sigh, Ling Yen turned around and returned to the cave. What she should have a headache about next was the matter of that ancient young emperor. On the other side, Jun Xiaoyao also returned to his cave. Those people from the 18 steeds of Yenyun were basically used to establish Jun Xiaoyao's authority. Now, there was probably no one who dared to disturb him. Now that I have the immortal tribulation sword art, the next step is to try to fuse the essence of the 5 sword arts and comprehend the laws of the sword. Jun Xiaoyao also started to get down to business. Strength was the foundation. Immortal Slayer sword art, Primitive Emperor Dao sword art, Grass Symbol sword art, Heaven Cleaving art, Immortal Tribulation sword art. The 5 sword arts were all under Jun Xiaoyao's control. Jun Xiaoyao's talent went without saying. At such a young age, he had already created his own taboo technique, Genesis. The fusion of the 5 sword principal divine skills was not too difficult for him. Next, Jun Xiaoyao used about 7 days to completely master the Immortal Tribulation sword art and reach the point of perfection. Other geniuses might need to spend several years, but Jun Xiaoyao only used 7 days. Alright, the next step is to think of a way to fuse the 5 sword arts and completely comprehend the essence of the sword. Jun Xiaoyao entered into a state of comprehension. On the other side, Immortal Academy held another meeting. I heard that there was some unrest in the Void Sky world, Immortal Academy's great elder said. That's right, but that place is close to the Realm Sea, and it is a place where only primordial spirits can enter, so it is normal for there to be unrest. And it is indeed easy for some passageways to connect to other realms to appear there, an elder replied. Long delays may lead to trouble. It is better to arrange for Immortal Academy's disciples to train there as soon as possible, Immortal Academy's great elder said. The group of elders nodded their heads in agreement. By the way, what do you all think about the dispute between the Jun families, Son of God, and the Xianting? Immortal Academy's great elder asked again. All the elders present were silent. Jun family and Xianting, both sides were colossal giants. It could be said that they couldn't afford to offend either side. When Immortal Academy's great elder saw this, he said indifferently, Our Immortal Academy should maintain a neutral stance and not side with either side. Among the elders, Disciplinary Elder's expression became a bit awkward. It could be said that he was trying to curry favor with Jun Xiaoyao. However, Immortal Academy's great elder then said, However, I feel that from the younger generation, the Jun family might have more prospects. Immortal Academy's great elder's words made all of the elders' expressions tremble slightly. Chapter 1153. The great elder of Immortal Academy sometimes represented the attitude of Immortal Academy. In other words, from the perspective of Immortal Academy, the younger generation of the Jun family had a better future. Jun Xiaoyao was not the only exception. Jun Bieli, Jun Ma Xiao with the human emperor physique, and Jun Lingsong. The younger generation of the Jun family had a promising future. The Xian Ting also had Ling Yan, Gu Tizi, and the geniuses of various celestial heritages. But in general, they were only SOSO compared to the Jun family. Of course, the ancient young emperor of the Xian Ting had yet to be born, so no one could say what the future would be like. However, the great elder of Immortal Academy was obviously optimistic about the Jun family. The younger generation represented the future. Jun Xiaoyao alone from the Jun family was more than enough to overwhelm all the geniuses of the celestial court. The meeting was short. After the meeting, a piece of news was announced. 3 months later, the training in the Void Sky realm would begin. The news was no doubt like a boulder thrown into the sea, causing great waves in Immortal Academy. Countless geniuses rubbed their hands, eager to give it a try. Moreover, the training in the Void Sky realm would be conducted with the primordial spirit, which at least avoided some of the dangers. Some geniuses who were stronger in the primordial spirit path showed eagerness and excitement in their eyes. The geniuses who were not strong in the primordial spirit path were somewhat worried, fearing that they would not be able to get a good opportunity. Right, if the training in the Void Sky realm is held, the son of God of the Jun family should be at a disadvantage. Yes, after all, the son of God of the Jun family is best at crushing opponents with his physical body. He can crush any enemy with his palm. I wonder how his primordial spirit path is like. Compared to Jun Xiaoyao's sacred body of the ancients, not many people knew about his primordial spirit. After all, the primordial spirit of 3 lives was too rare. There were only a few of them in the world. If that is the case, maybe I can defeat the son of God of the Jun family in the Void Sky realm, a genius said. Keep dreaming. Do you know what it means to be strong? The son of God of the Jun family has an unparalleled physical body, so you think that his soul will be weak? You are too ignorant. There were also some geniuses who disagreed. They believed that Jun Xiaoyao's primordial spirit was not necessarily weaker than his physical body. In short, everyone was looking forward to the good fortune of the Void Heaven world. In the depths of Immortal Academy, within Jun Xiaoyao's heavenly passage, Jun Xiaoyao sat cross-legged in the void, surrounded by endless divine light of the Great Path. The trajectories of various runes interweaved to form incomparably profound and complicated patterns. Vaguely, there seemed to be God laws flowing. Every divine law was extremely sharp, as if they were tangible sword light. After a period of comprehension, Jun Xiaoyao had also gradually merged the 5-sword Tao godly techniques together. Jun Xiaoyao was surprised to find that these 5 divine arts all seemed to have something in common. However, on second thought, as the saying goes, the myriad paths of the great Tao all lead to the same destination. In the end, they would all walk the same path. And that path was the rule of sword. At a certain moment, Jun Xiaoyao suddenly opened his eyes. Endless sword light seemed to appear in his eyes. Then, Jun Xiaoyao lightly stretched out his hand and used his fingers as a sword. A wisp of sword light appeared. This wisp of sword light was ordinary, but it seemed to be unstoppable. This was very strange. It was clearly just a wisp of sword light. However, it seemed to reflect the stars and all living things. Everything was reflected in this wisp of sword light. It was as if this wasn't a wisp of sword light, but a corner of a crack that reflected all worlds. This wisp of sword light casually swept into the void. Everything was silently annihilated. This was still Jun Xiaoyao controlling his strength, only using 1% of his strength. Otherwise, the entire Immortal Academy would be alarmed, and these heavenly passages would also be instantly torn apart and destroyed. I've finally comprehended the fusion of the 5-sword Tao godly techniques. A faint smile appeared at the corner of Jun Xiaoyao's mouth. Immortal slaughtering sword art, origin Emperor Tao sword, grass symbol sword art, heaven severing art, immortal tribulation sword art. The fusion of the 5-sword Tao godly techniques was, so sever. Jun Xiaoyao lightly opened his lips and spat out 4 words. So sever was the fusion of the 5-sword Tao godly technique. It sounded very strange. Normal Buddhist scriptures had 4 words at the beginning, so sever heard. It meant that this was what I heard Buddha say. And what did so sever mean? It was as if Jun Xiaoyao was a supreme Buddha. His sword was his law, and all living things had to listen and bear it. All enemies and opponents could only bear this sword, almost unable to avoid it. It really was domineering beyond compare. So what sever was the heart. This sword move wasn't just a physical attack. It could even sever the heart of others. The so-called sever was to sever one's own heart. Any other opponent or enemy, if their will wasn't firm, or if they didn't have a soul law or a special primordial spirit, would fall into an absolute disadvantage. Even their Tao heart might be severed by Jun Xiaoyao. It was that terrifying. And so sever shouldn't be just one move. There should be more to it. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were deep as he pondered. Since ancient times, there might be people who could gather the five-sword Tao godly technique. However, Jun Xiaoyao was the only one who could fuse the five-sword Tao godly techniques, comprehend their essence, and create so sever. As Jun Xiaoyao comprehended so sever, in his body there were also pieces of laws condensing. In the end, they turned into an incomparably sharp law. This law seemed to be able to cut through everything in the world. All living things, time, space, and the heart. It was the law of the sword. At this point, Jun Xiaoyao had already condensed 11 laws. He was already much stronger than the Supreme Realm with 9 laws. But this wasn't Jun Xiaoyao's limit. Jun Xiaoyao directly took out the 3-world copper coffin. This ancient artifact that had killed and refined the calamity had also refined many fragments of the heavenly laws, and it was filled with vigorous energy. Jun Xiaoyao could absorb it without worry. Continue to condense some of the immortal qi that I cultivated into laws. Right now, Jun Xiaoyao only had one goal, and that was to cultivate as many laws as possible. To maximize his talent. Then, he would forcefully break through to the next level. In this way, Jun Xiaoyao could almost always remain invincible among those of the same level. In fact, for Jun Xiaoyao, challenging those of a higher level in the 7th level of the Supreme Realm was as easy as eating and drinking. Next, Jun Xiaoyao immersed himself in cultivation. The entire Immortal Academy also fell into a state of restlessness, preparing to wait for the opportunity in the Void Sky world. In the 9 Heavens Immortal Realm, an incomparably vast world floated in the void like a universe egg. That was one of the 9 Heavens Immortal Realms, the Huntian Immortal Realm. Just like the Huangtian Immortal Realm was the headquarters of the Jun family. The Huntian Immortal Realm was the headquarters of the Xian Ting. Rumor had it that the ancient Xian Ting was built in the Huntian Immortal Realm. Later, the Immortal Realm suffered a calamity, and the ancient Xian Ting collapsed. 8 supreme experts stood out and established 8 great immortal heritages. Then, they persuaded a legendary demonic emperor who brought endless disasters to the Immortal Realm, the founder of the Jiuli demonic kingdom, Demon Emperor Qiyu. Later, the Jiuli demonic kingdom merged with the Xian Ting and became the 9th great immortal heritage, the Qiyu immortal heritage. From then on, the structure of the 9 great immortal heritages was determined. Then, with the Huntian immortal realm as the center, the Xian Ting spread its influence to the entire 9 Heavens immortal realm. In the end, it became the overlord of the immortal realm in the old era. If it weren't for the fact that the war between the 2 worlds was too vast, and the foreign realm invaded and severely damaged the Xian Ting, perhaps the entire immortal realm might still be under the control of the Xian Ting. At this moment, in an incomparably ancient star domain in the Huntian immortal realm, there was an ancient star surrounded by dense spiritual qi and great Tao divine laws. This ancient star was very strange. The spiritual qi was so dense that the ancient star was like a heart, about to beat loudly. In the core of the ancient star at the center, there was an ancient golden palace located in the middle of it. Outside the golden palace, there were some sealed immortal sources scattered around. Some of them were already broken. It was obvious that the seal on the immortal sources had long been broken. At the core of the golden palace, there was an enormous brilliant golden immortal source emitting an extraordinary spiritual qi. A blurry and otherworldly figure could be vaguely seen inside the golden immortal source. It was noble and unfathomable. At a certain moment, the golden immortal source began to tremble slightly. Cracks began to spread on its surface. Following that, there was a loud explosion. The immortal source shattered. A brilliant and sacred golden light shone upon the entire palace. It was like a brilliant sun that had descended upon this chaotic era. A sigh slowly sounded from the endless radiance. Everything is possible. It's like a dream, an illusion, a bubble, a shadow. It really is like a dream. I've returned to the starting point of this prosperous and chaotic era. Is it the will of the heavens that wants me to be the only protagonist of this era?